right. Hey, welcome back.
Hey,
Burning Barrel. We're back.
the first
on
time we've
Stitcher.
talked.
Yeah, first time we've
in
talked in a
6
while.
days.
Welcome back.
Oh
Stitcher,
man,
iTunes, video
that's
games.
gonna leave a weird dark cloud above my head this whole time. Anyways,
Okay.
we've been doing stuff,
Yeah. There's been a
and we
lot.
haven't talked to each other yet about it.
Right. So, what have you been up to, Paul? Drop something on me that I
Okay.
didn't know about, and then I can go, "What? You're crazy. That game's not even good. You."
Transistor is pretty good.
No, it's not. Son. That game's story is so up its own ass. Oh my god.
It might be a little bit up its own ass, but I kind of like how it's presented. I like all the stuff to read.
Oh, okay.
There's
like
a lot of
stats
reading
and
stuff
in
where
the-
it's just like, hey, you have a new attack. It's actually a person. This is what that person was all about.
I kind of didn't mind those. I didn't like the audio log stuff that just makes you sit on the screen like it's 2007 or something. Like,
Okay, I don't think I've gotten to that. I've only played about 2 hours.
okay, I'm at like 2.5 hours. So,
Okay.
yeah, there haven't been many audio logs, but when they are there, you can't just say, hey, play, and then run around and do stuff. It's like, no, you get to watch this waveform and listen to this man. And you're just like, I don't want to do that. I don't. Okay, but yeah. You have a special window into the combat though, because apparently it's Dota-esque.
Okay, so it like playing it and feeling it, it isn't at all actually like that. It kind of is in the way that like your stuff has to recharge.
Okay.
But the whole like you're freezing everything and then you're like choosing your attack route sort of thing and then clicking the button or pushing the key or whatever you're playing with.
Yeah.
And it just like does it really fast.
Mhm.
That is super cool. It works very well and it feels really cool. But then there is that downtime where you're waiting for that to come back. And the whole time I'm just thinking, I wish I could just do that again right now because that was awesome.
Kind of, yeah. Like, I mean, I've heard it said, like, Total Biscuit kind of said, like, oh, you can totally just do real-time attacks too. And it's like, you can, but you're right.
They're
like,
not
it's such
effective, though, really.
It's such an elegant, cool thing that I just always want to be doing it. So in practice, there is tons of just running around waiting for that meter to fill up during fights. Like, that's how I am defaulting to doing the fights. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Maybe that is supposed to be frustrating and compel me to use some of the kind of faster range attacks more and only occasionally do the kind of queuing up stuff. But I don't know. I just always want to queue up all the time. So,
And even like just doing your basic, I think it's just crash, like your first button sort of thing.
A button.
The A button or like what is it, the Q key or something? I don't know. Whatever it is on the keyboard, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
Like just doing that with when you stop, like do the stop menu sort of thing. Just doing that like 4 times feels cooler that way because it's just like bam, 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 like hit after hit, and it doesn't feel like that tactile delay between you pushing the button and it actually happening.
Yeah.
So it still feels cooler doing the very basic of basic things in that mode. And I just wish that was more, maybe.
Sure.
That's probably the biggest complaint I can lobby against it. So far, I think this game has a level of polish that Bastion lacked in the way it feels, like plays out.
Really?
And yeah, because the one thing I will say is I miss having a dodge. Maybe you get one later. I'm not sure. But
there's kind of a teleport move that you would have gotten by now.
There's like the dash attack sort of thing. That
is what they call it, yeah.
Yeah, the jaunt or whatever, yeah. So like there's that. I don't want to just like run away in a straight line though. Like I would like to be able to just move side to side or something. I don't know. I don't like that for like dodging, and if there is such a big downtime between like when I can do cool thing A and when I have enough meter back for cool thing B, there has to be a little bit more in there where I can still feel like a badass dodging stuff while I wait for it instead of just running around like a chicken.
Yeah, a lot of running around, like literally running around like
right.
a wall and keeping the thing on the other side of it, like just kind of this awkward circle running. Like if I don't know where I've seen this kind of goofy cliche, but it's like maybe like Yogi Bear running from the ranger around a tree or
A
something.
tree? Yeah,
Like,
sure.
they're like running around the same tree and kind of like ducking around it, hoping that they stay on the other side. And it's just like
Some
kind
enemies can just
goofy.
hit right through it too.
I know,
So
like
which
later
is
that
annoying.
doesn't work at all, and it's just like
Right.
that's been my go-to, man. That's my strategy is run around this thing until my meter's full, and then queue up some attacks behind them and get that
Right.
bonus.
So that's where I'm coming from. Like, just imagine you do cool thing A, right?
Yeah,
And now instead of just running around, you actually have these like moves. It turns into like the game kind of changes from an attack mechanic to kind of a dodging mechanic where everything is real time and you're just kind of like a badass, just like maybe jaunt away from something and then like do this weird like roll around another thing or something, then behind a wall and then do like a run or something, and then your meter's back up and you go right back in.
right.
Like that
Or
would
even
be
just
awesome.
us talking about it. I was thinking like, oh well, maybe if you kill an enemy as part of a phase, it just immediately refills or something
Like just
good
a
job,
little
you
bit
did
or
it.
something.
Refill like a big boost or something.
Yeah, like
But
a
it
boost.
just
Maybe not
doesn't.
all the way for balance or
Maybe all
something.
the way to make
Actually,
it more fun.
Actually, you
'Cause
know what? Now that
whatever.
I'm thinking about it, let's say all the way.
Sure.
Because I kill one enemy, I go back into it, kill another two, and then I just keep moving, and it's awesome. That would
Right.
be
And I
amazing.
mean, it's such a kind of gated beat 'em up kind of stuff. Like you're fighting stuff all the time. That making those fights easier to kind of go through, I wouldn't be opposed to that. Like I don't know if they're trying to kind of really emphasize like no, we put a lot of thought and effort in this combat or if they're super invested in their story cuz their story is kind of front and center too. Like there's that sword always talking at you and there's, screens full of text and
Well, I
stuff.
mean, the sword's talking at you because you can't. Your character can't.
Yeah, it's Navi
So,
essentially or something. It is your companion that
well,
has.
he says right at the beginning, like, that they took your voice. She was a singer. She can't talk anymore.
So are you just thinking like, oh, Little Mermaid? Like whenever that kind of.
Sure.
Because like I'm just
Why
like
not?
red-haired girl with no voice. Okay, Little Mermaid. And it's just like I don't know why. It's just that's my. Oh, I've seen this
It's,
before.
I mean, it's kind of a go-to, maybe, but I haven't seen it in a while, so I think I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I guess that movie came out like 27 years ago, so that's fine.
Oh, this
But
is a huge nitpick.
yeah,
I don't like that her name is Red.
that's her hair color.
Right. That's why I don't like it. Like,
Yeah.
it seems a little weirdly dehumanizing.
Well,
But I mean,
maybe he
everything
doesn't
else in the
know
game
her
is
name.
everything else is dehumanizing though, because like these people are literally just souls in your sword that become attacks. So.
Like it all seems like it's in a computer program or something. Like I
Right.
haven't like I should be clear. Like I played one giant session of this game and then went ugh, and then complained about it last week.
Right.
And haven't played it since. So I haven't seen the end of the story. Maybe I'm like, oh, totally off base, man. There's an incredible ending. It puts all narrative storytelling up to this point in human history to shame. Maybe, but I doubt it. But maybe
I don't know.
no one's
I'm
saying
looking
that,
forward
by
to
the way.
seeing where it's going. at
Man,
least. So.
I always go so hyperbolic. No one has ever said that about any Supergiant anything. I'm just being extra snarky. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I don't. Yeah.
Do you think anybody will ever say that about any Supergiant anything?
No. I don't think anyone will say that about any video game ever. Like,
Well, I'm just saying, do you
this
think
is-
Supergiant, if there was a game studio out there, they're the one that could like break a
code
gap
on
from kind of
game
like
writing?
indie interesting ideas to like something that is absolutely astounding? Or will they always just be kind of the artsy like studio that tries something
like,
new to
artsy in terms of just they have good people that draw. Seems to be their biggest asset as a studio that everyone really likes. It's just like, oh man, this art is so good, and you're just like, yeah, it's nice drawings, but whatever. Like that's
well, there is that, but they
things.
try some new things in the game, not mechanically, really. Although I will say I've never played a game like Transistor. So.
Yeah, I mean, I was making comparisons of like queuing up attacks and stuff like in KOTOR and stuff, but I like again, it's so much smoother, like implemented here. Like it's way more elegant. Just press a button and you're immediately just kind of real time mapping out a attack phase. Like that is cool, and I like. I
think it's important to say though how like much polish there is in Transistor. It plays very nicely. Like, it's smooth.
Have you
The
not
game's
had
like
any of the
butter.
weird little kind of hiccups or anything?
I
Like,
haven't had anything. Full 60 frames a second, beautiful. Just
it's
amazing
not even
looking.
frame rate dips. It's just like weird kind of like sometimes I'll just quickly go into attack mode and just like polish someone off, like just mash A, and then go out of it because I'm just like, whatever, this fight's done. And it'll like hang weird for a second. Stuff
I
like
haven't had that. I haven't
that.
really tried to just like do that though. I've been playing around a lot with the battle system.
Yeah,
So
whereas I'm kind of mashing it sometimes. Like I'm just like, fuck it, whatever. Like
every fight has taken me at least maybe 5 to 10 minutes because I'm trying to do cool things.
I guess I'm an impatient person then with the combat. Like I'm kind of
That's
just
fair.
like, oh, I got hurt a lot and lost a life bar or whatever. I don't have that power now, but I'll
Oh,
just
I
keep
will
going.
say when that happens, that is actually infuriating.
Okay,
In a
that is a thing that has annoyed some folks out there. And I don't know, like I was initially like, oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't get a game over, but then it is kind of like, oh, I also don't have my favorite attack now. That's kind of weird.
well, it's like me saying, "Here's an ice cream cone," right? And you're like, "I love ice cream." I'm
Oh,
like, "Yeah,
thanks so
but..."
much, buddy.
And then, like, as soon as you start licking it, I'm just like, "No, you're eating it wrong." And I take the ice cream chunk at the top and rip it off. It's like, have fun with the cone and the trails.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got the soggy cone. Oh, thanks a lot,
Okay.
Transistor.
If we're gonna keep going with this just for a second, I
Yeah,
actually like the soggy cone part after you're done the ice cream. I think it's delicious to have that crunchiness after.
I don't mind it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's me. Anyways, but like, what Transistor does well when they kind of punish you by not being perfect when you're first starting and taking away something that isn't like
Got used to,
necessary.
you
Well,
know.
it's not necessary, but like, I was going to use that attack for this part and it was going to look cool, and now I'm going to look less cool. Like, you are taking something away from the experience that is what you do best to begin with. And I think that's kind of a weird, like, game design choice where it's like, we do this real cool thing, but you're not going to be able to use it if you're not good.
It's a
Like,
really weird thing. Like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to think what's better. Like a lot of
I would rather get
games,
a game over. I would rather die and
yeah,
do the
like that
same
was
part
gonna be my
over and
question.
over.
Of like maybe Supergiant is kind of being like, well, hey, we value your time. We're not going to kick you back to a checkpoint or anything. You just get to kind of keep playing. However, the kind of downside is you get to keep playing a less enjoyable experience. So it's kind
Yeah.
of weird. Like it kind of sapped my energy over my play session of just like, well, I won that boss battle, but I barely scraped by, and it was kind of shitty.
That
But
boss battle, it was kind of annoying, by the way. A little bit. Just
oh,
because,
the
like,
big giant thing.
okay, no, I'm talking about the actual boss, the first boss.
Oh, the first. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Because just the phase thing where each phase feels really long. It's just like,
Sure. It's just like sweet. I want. Oh, another form.
the
Okay.
battles I've liked in that game are the ones where there's just like 20 dudes. Because then I'm just like, okay, I do this move that like cuts a line through a bunch of stuff, hurting them. Then I'm going to run up here, throw down this, that like scatter bomb sort of thing. Then I'm going to run over behind this wall, wait for it to recharge, come back out, hit this big thing a bunch of times. Like, I like doing, and maybe it's from Dragon Age where like I'm the game that kind of does this similarly that I loved. You're controlling 4 people against like these huge attacks sort of thing most of the time. So
Okay.
it's like,
Big
I
horde
want,
struggling a bunch of foes.
yeah, like I want to be able to just do a whole bunch of stuff right away and like just keep moving that way. I don't want to be stuck doing this like, well, I have to kill this one big boss sort of thing. That isn't fun to me. Like, if that boss battle was just like another giant with like maybe like 10 things around it, that would have been perfect. That would have been like my boss of choice. I didn't like the whole just like one single entity sort of thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, some of the boss kind of stuff, they turn into multiple cores once they've been kind
Yeah,
of defeated, and you need to defeat the cores to
sure.
actually get rid of them. So
Yeah,
it does
and
kind
that's
of
fine.
have some multiple foe kind of element to it. But yeah, is the story doing anything for you though? Because that's kind of the kind of needle in my haystack. That's not a phrase,
Honestly, it
but it
seems
is
just
now.
like a Kill Bill story. So, like a revenge
Okay.
story. Like, I'm gonna, well, Because after you beat, I don't know if it's after you beat the first boss or before you face the first boss, and the sword's all like the Camerata or whatever, and then there's just like a screen of like 5 or 6 of them, and like at that point I was just like, oh, this is Kill Bill. Like I'm gonna face each of these people, like these bosses, and then I'm gonna go against the big baddie, and then something will happen and the game will end.
Okay.
And I'm kind of okay with that. Like the story isn't enough. Very few stories are enough these days, as I've said multiple times, to bring me in. The mechanics and polish of this game are enough to keep me going, though, and I'm enjoying my time with it, so that's what I like about it.
Did you put in like one big session or a couple little ones?
I put in one very, very little session, and then I'm like, this is a game I think Erin would enjoy watching, so then when she came home, I played like the 2 hours of it with her there.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, that's really all I had to say about Transistor so far. I guess I could keep you up to date as I play through that, if you want. Or if you're just going to grump at me, maybe I'll just
No, it's fine. It's one of those things where, like, I don't know. There's a lot going on right now in terms of packing and stuff, and it's not, like, I just haven't had time to just sit down and...
You're in a bad place right now.
Yeah, well, sort of. It's actually, I guess if I can talk about the move for a second, like... I guess whatever, there's no way to, like, my mom lives in the same building.
Okay.
So
I don't know any about your move except for the area.
Okay. So she already has an apartment there. So like all the last 2 weeks we've been moving stuff over there. So come move day, it's a matter of let's move all these boxes upstairs. Okay, done. So this end of things is like pretty far along. There's not a lot.
That sounds like a very smooth move, actually.
Yeah, hopefully
almost like Wario was hosting.
Yeah, it's like kind of like WarioWare smooth moves in a lot of ways. So we're gonna kind of do these weird poses and stuff come move day, and then all the stuff will just kind of magically appear up there, and we'll be done. So that's how it's gonna go in theory, anyway. There's still some like a lot of stuff around, like bigger stuff, but we're gonna get a truck and move the big stuff that day. Anyway, moves.
Cool. There is a voicemail later on about moving.
Okay.
So I'm sure we'll revisit this more in depth when we get to that. But that's all I had to say about Transistor, unless you had anything more specific you wanted to know. I mean, you know what I know. We've played about the same amount. In fact, you played a little bit more. So there you go.
I don't know. Like the isometric perspective, do you kind of dig that? Is that okay?
I mean, isometric is totally fine. I've played out hundreds of hours of Diablo 2 in the day. I've played hundreds of hours of Dota and Diablo 3. Isometric isn't a thing for me. It's kind of how games look to me, mainly for my nostalgia. So
I guess, yeah, it's just kind of the perspectives, it's not my favorite and never has been.
What about top-down?
Top-down.
Do you love the top-down perspective?
I'm trying to think of actual games that have a true that is the exclusive perspective. You're looking at everything. Hotline Miami. So yes.
Hotline Miami is great.
Yeah, that's
the first 2 GTAs, including London, actually as well. 3 GTAs.
Yep. There you go. I
didn't like those as much. I liked the third-person 3D for those. But anyway.
Yeah. So no, I guess not really any more Transistor stuff. I haven't played any more of it this week, so it's kind of one of those games where I'm like, am I obligated to finish this if I don't like it?
No, you're not.
Like, if it's like, well, end of the year, people are going to be like, whoa, top 10 list. It's just like, it's already not on that list. Like, there's no way in hell it's going to make it there now, so it's fine. Like, just
see, for me, it's probably not on that list yet.
Okay.
But it's easily an honorable mention for me. So, like, it is somewhere where, like, if we do a wrap-up end of the year sort of thing, it will be mentioned again on my end.
Speaking of hacking stuff.
What?
What? You'll make it work in post.
What?
What do you mean?
Okay.
One button hacking, Watch Dogs.
Yeah. one-button hacking. It's great. It's actually fun.
Is it?
It actually is, and you know me with open world games like this, and how I usually don't care. I'm having a great time so far.
Okay.
I should like preface this by saying like first impressions or whatever sort of thing, because like first hour of the game.
Oh, okay.
Out of a game that's like what they say like a few hundred, but I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
I've been hearing like 40 or something for the campaign.
For the campaign, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. I think this game feels like the culmination of what Ubisoft has been trying to do with the Assassin's Creed series, and like what Rockstar does well with the Grand Theft Auto series, combining them together and like just putting out a product that is just fun. I don't know how else to explain it, because if you look at it like from a technical standpoint, first of all, I've been hearing that the PS4 version is absolute garbage.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I don't know why that is. I think it's because like they say the PS4 version is basically like running it on high on PC, but also the processing power isn't enough to make it like work out very well. Like it's running at 30 frames a second and kind of weird or something.
Oh, okay.
And somebody's anecdote that they were saying on Twitter, it's like they're like, my computer is like a generation behind the PS4, and it can run this game on high without any issues at 60 frames a second. So it's like, what's going on here? And
Like
then we had a little
optimization
discussion.
kind of thing.
That's what we kind of were saying. It's probably Sony's like tools or whatever for porting it to the PS4.
Well, my issue over here, like you're playing the PC version, and I was kind of talking about this thing I read about AMD cards. Like this is kind of custom built for NVIDIA GameWorks or something.
Yeah.
Is that a system? Is that what they're calling it? GameWorks? Is that the correct?
NVIDIA GameWorks? That sounds possibly fine. Like I'm just
it's
trying
kind
to think
easy from this
because
article.
AMD's Catalyst, right? Is that what it is?
Whoosh. What does that mean?
Like, isn't that what all of their stuff is like?
Oh, that's like buzzword marketing term for like Catalyst, the true experience.
Like
gaming.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Something like, but like, and NVIDIA is their big thing is the physics and that stuff,
Sure.
right?
I guess the kind of tone of the stuff I was reading is basically like AMD is kind of open, NVIDIA is closed. Like they're just like, this does not work unless you have our card. Like it is not optimized. We are not transparent about how these tools are using anything, for, driver support and stuff for AMD cards. So a lot of stuff just runs like garbage on AMD, even if your computer is like way better than it needs to be. Like Alice Madness Returns is a game from like 3 years ago. It has PhysX in it. So if you have PhysX turned on, everything just runs like garbage, and it's kind of confusing as to why. But then you're just like, oh, I'll toggle this off. Oh, it's fine now. Like, it's just like one of those things. I guess Watch Dogs has a bunch of kind of weather effects and kind of little things that use proprietary tools that NVIDIA kind of put out there that makes it easy for Ubisoft to kind of toggle some effects and make it all look sweet. But the cost of that is now it runs way better on NVIDIA. So I guess I'm not going to play it. I don't know. Like,
sure.
I was kind of like, oh, I'll play on PC. It'll look next gen, be awesome. And it's just like, oh, I guess I can't even do that. So
I will say though, like, if we're just going to talk about the PC version, that's what I've been playing.
Yeah.
This game, as well as Wolfenstein: The New Order, which I'll talk about in a little bit here.
Yeah.
They are making me realize that my budget PC or gaming PC needs to go from budget to optimized. Watch Dogs specifically runs very hard. It is running very hard on my hardware right now, which means my hardware needs to get upgraded. But the other side of that is that it looks fantastic. Like, it looks really, really good.
Okay.
It might be probably the best looking PC game I've seen since like back in the day when Crysis was the thing.
Okay.
So that is a pretty astounding thing to me when you think about open world stuff where like, okay, I for people that might not know what like have seen stuff on Watch Dogs or whatever, I think it might be important to say this is that one of the big things in Watch Dogs is you push a button, you bring out your cell phone, and then this giant web basically comes out like as you're walking around. Lines are everywhere and stuff. And you can basically hack into other people's cellular devices, cameras, stuff like that. You can make like electrical conduits and stuff explode, blah, blah, blah. But the reason why that's important to note in a game like this is that open world for us when we were growing up was like GTA 3 or something, right? Where it's like,
Sure.
you can drive down all these streets, but you can't basically go through any doors unless it's a mission area or like some of these roads are blocked off. This game, you can kind of go anywhere right away, and everywhere you go, there are NPCs walking around, and they all have different like text messages they're sending or like phone calls they're on or something. That's absolutely astounding to me. That's like mind blowing because there's people everywhere. And you can hack into almost every phone I've seen so far.
Okay, so there's like a certain level of micro detail that
it's crazy.
Doesn't seem to really come into play a lot.
I spent 30 minutes tonight before we did this just standing in like an area, walking around slowly and listening to people's conversations. That's all I did. So it's weird too. There's this one part where like I was just kind of walking by and then I heard an argument, like a girl yelling at a dude in like a back alley sort of like parking lot. So I'm like, what the hell is that all about? So I walk into there, I'm just standing there and she's yelling at him and like basically insulting his manhood and saying she's leaving him and blah, blah, blah. And saying, oh yeah, you want to hit me or something? And the dude's like, no. And like he starts walking away. Then she like insults him. It's like, more and more, and then like he backs up and hits her, and then there's this thing that like you can all of a sudden kill him because your big thing is you're kind of a vigilante, right?
Oh, okay. So, like a cyber vigilante,
I guess. Well, this is how you find missions too, like just random missions on the street. Is that the first quote unquote random mission? Of course, it's planted because it's right outside of your safe house or whatever, your hideout. Is somebody's like texting like another dude and like, yo, calm down, and he's saying something like, no, this bitch is dead or something like that. So you eavesdrop on that conversation and then you're like, I'm gonna find this guy. You kind of just like watch the situation play out, and then when he like is starting to basically like harass her and grab her and like physically harm her, you walk in and basically just shoot him in the head and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's weird because you're a vigilante and you're using this like eavesdropping mechanic basically to get your missions to like stop crime or something.
Yeah.
That is kind of disturbing.
Is there
in
no
a weird,
like
visceral way?
Is there no kind of, hey, I have a taser? Like, is there non-lethal options, or are you just like, no, I shot that guy, I just murdered him?
Okay, so I think the way they want you to do that part is there's cameras around too. I think they want you to hack into a camera and then like blow up something beside him so he gets either knocked out or like dies that way. Like,
whoa, okay, I was not even thinking that's where you were going. I thought it was like feed that camera feed to the cops, and then the cops deal with it.
No, like it seems very vigilante-ish in that, and not in like the Batman or Spider-Man vigilante way, in like the Punisher vigilante way, because dude's pissed off. His daughter is dead.
I thought it was his niece.
Okay, his niece is dead.
Okay.
Because of a job that went bad in the intro.
Like cyber hacking thing he's involved in?
Yeah, he was cyber hacking something. He fucked with the wrong people, and they're like, send a message. They're like, okay, the hit'll happen. And then they killed her, basically. So
what was Aiden involved in that, got him...
Stealing money.
Okay, well, it sounds like Aiden's kind of a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Okay.
He is. Every single player in like a GTA game is a dirtbag too. It doesn't matter.
I don't care about, okay, dude. I don't know. He's trying to get out.
I don't care about the morality of any of that, really. if you're trying to get out, it means you were in. You're a dirtbag. Like, no matter what game you look at where you control somebody like this, they have dirt. They have dirt on their hands. All I'm saying, under their nails, lots of dirt.
Okay.
But
I mean,
okay,
GTA
so
5 though is really great. So I don't know. Ubisoft has yet to kind of make a good open world game.
GTA 5, from the little I've played, it's pretty good in a way that, like, it's trying to balance out, like you've said many times before with the 3 different characters. It's like, no, this is your crazy character, this is whoever, and this is the dude trying to get out, sort of thing.
Yeah. Whatever. You have your good guy, your crazy guy, and your kind of middle of the road person.
See, how that always read to me is that it is split. It doesn't know what it's wanting to do, and I've never really liked the jumping between them. And like, that was the one thing that really,
it was like a solution to a problem they had in 4 of just like Nico.
Sure, but see, the thing is, for me, that wasn't the problem with 4. It was stupid, but it's a video game, so like, I don't care if the characters make sense. I just want to like have some consistency. If you want to, go blow up some stuff. If you don't. Like, right, like I want to have some consistency still, and that's hard to do with 3 playable characters, which was always the hard thing to wrap my head around when playing 3. Whereas like Watch Dogs has been like jumping maybe into Vice City with like some weird techno crap happening, and I'm down with that.
I guess, like, it's not like Grand Theft Auto is the only open world thing though. Like Saints Row, you have crazy ass superpowers. And people are saying like, "Oh, you can." This
is way more grounded.
Exactly. Like, this just sounds like way less crazy powers, but you're still kind of like messing with the city, right? Like making barriers come down and changing.
It's kind of neat because it's a grounded superpower, right? Whereas like, sure, you can't fly, but like you're using technology and like your network of criminals here, like other criminals that and your own like wits or smarts or whatever, and you're basically using technology against other people.
Okay, and I guess
which is a thing.
One of the social things I'd read was like, if you have a gun out, people react like you have a gun out, like they're freaked out. Yeah, like, oh, shit, what's going on here? Nothing good. I'm gonna run and scream.
This is a thing I've been trying to get used to in this game, because this is something that I don't remember happening in a lot of these games. But like, if I'm not shooting somebody, I have to keep remembering to put the gun away.
Right.
Because it's real like, bad if you don't.
Row, it's just like, who cares? Like, you live in town.
Saints Row is just, who cares? Fly.
Exactly.
They don't care.
Yeah.
This game, it's like, okay, so I was chasing another dude, right? And it's like, oh, don't let this criminal get away. So I'm like, I'm trying not to. I'm running. And I have the gun out because I want to shoot him. And as I'm running, every single person is just like, oh God, he's got a gun, and yelling and stuff, and like trying to call the cops and shit.
Okay, so you kind of want to holster your gun, chase that guy, get him,
right,
and then pull out the gun and blap.
So like missing shots is kind of hard. Like, I mean, like when you miss shots, it makes the game harder in that way, because it's like, now I have to chase him, and I kind of need to keep this gun out because I don't want to waste the time it takes to take it out if he's like down the alley and I can pop off a shot to finish him off. But then the flip side to that is that every dude I've shot so far who have just been like street punks and kind of like assholes, they are just kind of wearing t-shirts or whatever. So even from a far distance, 2 shots has killed them, like in the back. Mm-hmm. They've like fallen down and died. And that's kind of a nice thing to see.
Like a giant ass health bar, or are you vulnerable too?
They haven't tried to come at me yet, so I'm not sure.
Oh, I guess first hour, first impressions. Okay.
Yeah, they haven't like.
I'm trying to think back, like specifically Assassin's Creed like 2 and Brotherhood. I just remember like bailing off buildings and like falling 3 stories, and then just kind of I lost like a third of my health bar, but whatever. I'll just go to my house after and heal up or something. Like, it's just like there's a certain like, oh, it's grounded, except when it's not, it seems extra ridiculous. Then, if they just kind of let you cut loose entirely, it's fine. We're like, okay, for example, one of the things I heard is if you have like a high alert status, like cops are chasing you, just go in the water. They have no boats. They can't deal with you effectively. Okay. which
That's
apparently
good
helicopters will gun you down, but
Sure. Okay.
there's no kind of watercraft for police. So if you have like cars chasing you only, you can just go in the water, and there's no way for them to kind of deal with that situation.
See, in a way, that's kind of a good thing too, because I found it hard to shake off the police in a lot of instances in this game.
Oh, okay.
So knowing that could actually be pretty beneficial for my future playing. So I guess thank you for the tip, first of all. But
Yeah.
I don't know, and it does some other weird stuff when you're trying to get rid of the police, where you can hide in your car. Like you can just kind of park the car somewhere and like hide in it, and that could work. Or like as you're driving,
like lie down.
the big thing that I've loved so far is that when you're driving, you can like hack the lights to go green.
Yeah.
So you drive through them. And that's been great because like the other lights are still green as well. So like if you just kind of hack it as you're going through, there was one time where like a bunch of cars just did like a pile up and the cops hit a bunch of cars in the middle and I just drove off. That was pretty great. Like I actually genuinely felt like a badass at that point. And I think that for this type of game where it's grounded in reality, but not really, like there's still a superpower and it's technology. That is important for something like this, where you're not flying around, you don't have fireballs or a giant dildo bat or something weird, right? Mm-hmm. It's still grounded enough that it could almost be believable in a fantasy way, where it's like this is the fantasy setting for the future sort of thing. Like this is what he's doing here is magic, but it can be explained through technology as we progress to that point.
Okay. Although I guess a point in Jeff Gerstmann's review of the game was it's supposed to be the future, but it's like all cell phone based stuff, which seems kind of weird because there's already like Google Glass and like wearable tech and like HUDs and things that you could have in real practical life.
I'll tell you why I think it's cell phone based stuff is because it's easier to see an NPC hold out their arm looking at a cell phone than it would be just seeing a dude with sunglasses.
Like it at least gives him something to do as opposed to just like, you have a magic HUD. Like it's fun.
Right. Like it gives, well, I mean, like even when you're going around NPCs, like the ones you can tell you can hack before even the thing comes up is that they're holding a cell phone. I think so. Okay. There's that choice too. I don't know if that was a choice or if it was just kind of a happy accident, but I feel from a design standpoint, that's the tell. And that is a great tell because everybody recognizes there are people in this game without cell phones. Like there's homeless people, there's like street buskers playing guitars and stuff. So when you see the people walking by with a cell phone, an everyday occurrence in our lives, in this game, it's actually a tell that I can do something with this person.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Also, it's kind of great robbing people without having to kill them.
Sure.
Because in GTA, to like rob people, you kill them, right?
And for some reason, everyone is still carrying cash.
Yeah. In this, it's literally just like you walked past this person and you now have $300 as soon as you go to an ATM because you have their bank info in your phone.
Ooh, hacking.
That's crazy, right? Like the stuff in this is very, very cool. It's something I don't think I've seen before. And that is enough to keep me coming, I think. I have really enjoyed my time with it so far.
Dude, like, so you're only an hour in, but has there been any discussions about the darknet? Is it about the darknet?
No, not yet.
Get jobs from the darknet? Do you get like a phone call and it's like, there's targetable?
Okay. Yes, there is one person you talk to. I think his name is Big Boy 17 or something.
Yeah.
And he has a distorted, like, deep voice.
Awesome.
Yeah, It's pretty great. He's like one of your bros. He's one of the people you talk to, like a Criminal Connection dude or something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. I think they would miss out if they didn't have something weird and kind of creepy like that, so...
I guess, yeah, now I'm just kind of like, I mean, I enjoy open world games. I really like GTA last year and stuff.
I think you'll like this, honestly.
Where do I play it, though? Like, I could play the older console version or hope AMD gets its drivers up to speed and kind of just try to keep an eye on the scene.
And this is the problem, because I was going to bring this up, too. We can't even share it, because you play. It's a Uplay game, and Uplay is terrible. When I close a game down, it crashed trying to save my save data to the cloud. Like, it crashed. The system crashed trying to save
your data then?
No, because it's on my PC. I was trying to transfer it to the cloud.
Oh, okay. But
yeah, it's terrible.
Enjoy Uplay in the past, like on PC stuff specifically. Like, Far Cry 3, I'm going to start playing it, and then it loads up another thing that I need to log into, and I don't remember the password because the last time I used it was like Splinter Cell Conviction in 2010.
I don't even know if I care about that. It loads another thing up. It's that the other thing is garbage. It is complete trash, and it's kind of a weird antithesis to this awesome world where technology is awesome, that you're playing it through this antiquated piece of shit that can't even send a like 512 kilobyte file up to the cloud without crashing.
Yeah. Everyone wanting their own kind of network, their own emails, access and stuff. Like, yeah.
For all the shit I give it, every time I've used Origin, it actually loaded. So there's that. Uplay, you're batting low if Origin is beating you. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. All right, so watch _dogs. Seems okay.
I don't like that people are typing it that way either.
Isn't that what it's called?
Like, it's Watchdogs. Like, I know what you're talking about if you put a space. You don't have to put the underscore. If we're
going to be talking about it on Twitter, like...
No, dude, that's really pretentious. In fact, you know what?
It's character either way. Might as well put the underscore.
Dude, you know what? I just realized why it's watch_dogs. Because when you are talking about it on Twitter, they can actually see the people specifically talking about their game by using that exact character.
It's like, it's like a hashtag kind of thing.
It kind of is, because then they could see, there's all these people talking about it. They're spying on us. Watch Dogs is happening right now. Ubisoft Montreal, they are Aiden.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So don't use... If you want Uplay to fail, join the resistance, use a space key.
Right, use the space key and maybe even throw a $ as the S on dogs.
Yeah. And while you're at it, send some dollars into our bank account.
Yeah, by using our Amazon link on Burning.
That's right. There you go.
Still have one?
We do. Yeah,
okay,
and it still all works fine. It's still the same PayPal address, everything else. So
Okay.
Yeah, that still works completely fine. But yeah, people should probably use that. Anyways, Watch Dogs. I'm having fun with it, which, if you know my taste in games and open world games specifically, is saying a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Did you not?
There's enough there.
Okay. I just
Sorry.
GTA 5, you didn't like it? You didn't think it was amazing?
Like I said, the three characters, I felt
kind of bothered you, but
it didn't really bother me. It just kind of threw me up. I didn't feel motivated to play with any of them.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
So maybe like if it was one, I would have felt motivated enough to get far enough where I was interested again. But then like just from standing, like the dude looking in the window sort of thing, I see all these people enjoying the game, and then I see 3 doors. And, like, each door has a hallway, and they all go into this, like, meeting room at the end where everybody's having a party. But there's 3 doors, and I'm getting, like, complications in my head as to which one I should choose, and it's kind of turning me off. So I walk away and go join the guys down the street who are doing crack cocaine. And I'm like, well, I know it's an easy way to get to them. So I'm going to go down this alley and stick a needle in my arm. That's what happened with GTA 5.
That's so weird, because, like, are you worried you're going to miss some of the story if you choose one? Like, it's written to account for that. You can't, like, miss the game by choosing Franklin.
It's more specifically, like, if all those hallways lead to the same place, but, like, one was short with, like, a bunch of balloons and, like, confetti and stuff that was fun, I'm afraid I'll miss that one, and I'll get the one that, like, winds around the whole building and then gets to the end.
Oh, I guess the trick is the hallway leads to the second hallway and the third hallway. Like, before you get to the party. There's no way to miss anything.
Okay.
It's all smoke and mirrors, but, like, well done. I don't know. Don't get too freaked out about it. It's not like Infamous where you're actually locking off abilities and content by making choices.
That's why I won't play the second one.
Infamous 2?
I just won't, because, like, first of all, the first one was fine the first time I played it, had a lot of fun. Not doing that again, though. So,
yeah, I have it downloaded on the PS3, but I haven't played it either. There's another one out, I guess, on the PlayStation 4.
That'd be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many Infamous games.
Well,
nowadays.
there is, and it just came out like 6 months ago or so.
Like
right?
6 weeks ago, if that. Infamous Second Son?
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty recent, dude. That was like February, maybe, at the absolute, So
I thought that was
3-4
Christmas
months.
time of last year.
No, it was this year.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
whatever.
Video games. Speaking of cyber thrillers, Paycheck, the John Woo classic from.
I never did see that one. Never saw it.
I am going to go ahead and stand by the opinion that it is a totally fine, entertaining movie. Like, it's not important. It's not like culturally significant, but it's totally does its job. It's a Philip K. Dick sci-fi thriller with like a kind of okay gimmick.
Is Ben Affleck constantly running like I would be led to believe from the cover?
Ben Affleck runs and is on motorcycles and stuff sometimes. Yeah, there's a lot of chasing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a Philip K. Dick story. Like, dude is a reverse engineer. They put him in a room with a piece of technology. He kind of breaks it down, then iterates on it, and then gets his memory erased to kind of cover the company's ass of any copyright stuff and kind of erase the inventor's kind of history with the thing. And it's just like, yeah, we just figured this out. Cool, right? And they can go about their business.
That's kind of weird and creepy.
It's kind of weird, but yeah. So yeah, he'll kind of do a project for a few months and then they erase his memory. He takes on a kind of dubious job from Aaron Eckhart. That's going to take 3 years of his life. He doesn't, and it's like a kind of government project that got kind of subverted and is now being looked into by this company. He doesn't know kind of what it is, and his memory got erased, so he doesn't even know what happened. But all of a sudden, there's all these dudes chasing him, and he's got this bag of weird items that his like past self traded for the $90+ million he was supposed to get, and that's confusing. So he's kind of running around trying to figure out what's going on. And turns out it is a machine that can see the future. So he was able to kind of shape his own escape plan by seeing what would happen. And he provided himself with these kind of random everyday objects that kind of play into all the chases and stuff. Like at certain times, it's just like, oh man, it'd be really helpful if I had a pair of sunglasses. Oh wait, there's a pair here in the bag, and then he puts them on, and he's kind of got infrared vision. He can see through the smoke that is filling the room with all these cops, and then he's able to escape, for example. Or it's like, oh man, if I had a paperclip, I could short out this thing. Oh, I got a paperclip right here. Awesome.
Great. That's convenient.
It's like,
yeah.
I know, it is convenient. Like, it's kind of this dumb thing of just like, you are just kind of, it's almost like watching an adventure game or something, where it's just like you have a bunch of dumbass items and they just work when they do for reasons that are written by the game creator. Like, it's just like, like Monkey Island example is chicken with a pulley in it. Like, it's just like, what a stupid random thing. Well, it turns out it's exactly what you need to do this part, and you're just like, oh, okay. So yeah, Paycheck is like watching an adventure game with Ben Affleck, and Paul Giamatti is there, and Uma Thurman. And there's like chases, and there's a dove at one point because it's a John Woo movie, and I kind of laughed because it was like so just inserted in the movie, but it's there, and there you go. It's got his trademarks. Cool. And Aaron Eckhart, he might not be on the level. I don't know.
Oh, did you give something away just now?
No,
I haven't seen this movie.
It's like super. He's so sinister, like immediately. So
okay.
It's
all right,
like,
I'll take your word for it.
Like, if you watched the trailer 10 years ago, it's like, oh, okay, Aaron Eckhart something's wrong here. But yeah, I don't know. Me telling you that it's a machine that shows the future is kind of almost a spoiler, but it's, again, I think it's in the trailer. Whatever. It's an 11-year-old thing. It's on Netflix. It's doofy entertainment. Paul Giamatti does some great stuff as just kind of his kind of sidekick guy for the first little bit. I was just kind of telling him like, "No, you shouldn't do that, Mike. I don't know," and like helping him train and stuff. He's fun to watch.
I want to do an inside type of not joke, but like just between you and me sort of thing. We'll do this with Ollie's older type movies.
Okay.
What would you rate it out of 5 for watchable at work?
Oh, dude. Probably a 4.
Really?
Like,
okay, so this is like doofy and like actiony enough that other people walking by could just sit down and just like, this is kind of fun.
Like, it's like, oh, maybe they haven't caught this one. It's got enough of a kind of hook to it that it's totally watchable in like a kind of unimportant. Like, it's just like, yeah, it's kind of.
This is a weird criteria too, right?
It's a weird criteria, but it's kind of a perfect. Yeah, this is a decent example of that. Another one, I guess, is Death Sentence, as I found out, with Kevin Bacon.
Okay.
Have you seen it, or?
I just realized you can't see me shaking my head. No, I haven't.
I'm like, what? There's no video. I'm just listening. Okay. Kevin Bacon. It's literally Death Wish with Kevin Bacon. Like, it is based on the same book as Death Wish, but that
doesn't sound that good. I don't like Kevin Bacon very much. So.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I'll keep laying out what's going on. James Wan, the director of Dead Silence, and recently The Conjuring and Saw and all that stuff. Actually, less recently, Saw. That was his first movie. But anyway.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. Dead Silence was terrible, by the way. Anyway, go on.
Fucking crazy entertaining, though, right? Holy crap, that ending.
From not
Dead Silence.
Okay, that ending, but like from what I remember, that like movie's not that entertaining.
Movie. No, whatever. You get Donnie Wahlberg just kind of shaving and stuff, and weird.
Yeah, that sounds so great. You're right.
Yeah,
you get him shaving.
Shaves all the time, and it's amazing. And then
I haven't seen Insidious Chapter 2 yet, though. It's on my watch pile, honestly.
It's better than Poltergeist 2, which is what I would compare it to.
You know what? I think when you first watched Insidious Chapter 2, you said that exact same thing.
Yeah.
So it must hold true.
Well, because Insidious is basically Poltergeist, so
kind of. Yeah.
It's Chapter 2 is Poltergeist 2, and it is way better than Poltergeist 2, because I watched Poltergeist 2 again a while ago.
Oh, God.
Other than the creepy old man, who is crazy creepy, like, that actor is incredible. Yeah, it is. It does not hold up, and the last bit is terrible. Anyway, so Death Sentence, revenge movie, Death Wish, dudes. It's kind of about vigilantism and escalation, but it's actually kind of got a thoughtful message about that, I guess.
Okay.
For these movies, like, I actually felt kind of okay about this movie's moral compass by the end of it, because it seemed like it actually had a reason for all the carnage and stuff. Like, it was kind of reminding me of Taxi Driver a little bit, in terms of just like gritty vigilante kind of guy who kind of gets way into like just a violent situation, and it's pretty savage. But I don't know, it felt kind of like it led there, honestly, or something. Like, it was okay to see it play out. But yeah, so Kevin Bacon's he's a dad. One night driving his son home from hockey, which I guess the hockey scenes in this movie weren't really well realized. Our coworker Peter pointed that out.
Oh, you watched it at work then?
Yeah. So this is why I'm like, okay, this works as a work movie.
Okay, so I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, which is all of you, Peter knows hockey.
Yeah, so he's just like, man, that guy's like cutting with his toes real hard. Like, that guy's not going to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he knows hockey. Like, his kids played hockey. He watches it like religiously. He knows his
5 seconds of dude skating on screen. It's just like, nope, he's not going to make it.
Right.
Just like, wow.
It almost makes you want to find hockey movies and just like
see is Mighty Ducks a little crap? Like, is this terrible depiction of hockey?
Dude, we should watch Mighty Ducks.
We got the whole trilogy. We should get those. Boom. I should get the whole trilogy. I'm saying a trilogy exists. But anyway.
A trilogy does exist, yes. The third one is not very good. The second one is great. That's all I have to say about that.
I've never seen the third one. Okay. So Kid gets like killed by this gang, headed up by the Tron Legacy guy, Garrett Hedlund, which was really awesome for me. Of just like, oh, dude, this is like bald, tattooed version of that guy. Crazy. And yeah, there's a really good chase scene in it, like just manic Kevin Bacon running down the street, like a kind of a nice long take, like him going up a car, like a parkade, and setting off car alarms and stuff to kind of try to get attention from law enforcement. I don't know. There's some good chases, some good kind of brutal action scenes, a decent amount of kind of family drama stuff that doesn't get too cloying and annoying. Although there's totally like plot convenience stuff in here where like there is a cop who kind of knows what's going on and for some reason gives Kevin Bacon like a really long leash. Like it's like,
okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Like
who's the cop?
I don't know, some lady.
Okay. Like so it's not a big name person then.
Yeah, not really. Like John Goodman's in it. He's probably like the other big name. He's the father of one of the gang guys and also like the arms dealer in town.
Also Fred Flintstone.
Yes, that's true. But yeah, I enjoy Kevin Bacon on occasion. I don't know why. Like, what's your beef with him? What is it that?
I think it was the movie Wild Things, where he's just a creepy rapist.
Oh, I guess I never saw that. So
yeah, okay, fair enough. He's a creepy rapist in that movie, and it kind of paints my whole picture of him because I saw that when I was young for the tits, and instead I got Kevin Bacon molesting little girls.
Okay, yeah, that wouldn't be a good introduction. So okay. There's none of that in here. He's just kind of a sad, like, angry guy. Because, yeah, something bad happens. His son gets killed. So, yeah, it's just, like, escalating. Like, it's like he kills the killer, then they, like, retaliate, then he retaliates back and forth, and eventually it's just, like, everybody is just a monster now. Like, they're just...
Also, he's a dick in R.I.P.D. Sorry, I had to get that out.
Oh, is he in it? What?
He is, like, the dude that kills the main guy at the very beginning.
In Rest in Peace Department?
Yeah. What is that guy's name? The guy I don't like very much. Ryan Reynolds.
He kills him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like his like cop buddy who's like not
he's like, I guess again it's a kind of unique criteria. Is that a good work movie? Because it seems like it would be so stupid it might be kind of like fine.
That's for a work movie, it's 4. It's a 4.
It's a weird criteria. Like, it's like, no, I'm not saying it's good, but it is like enough. Like it kind of fits how much attention span you have in this specific scenario.
See, it's kind of nice too because now you understand why there was a period there where it's just like, yeah, I watched all these dumb action movies that are kind of terrible, and I'm going to talk about them here, how bad they were. Yeah. And like you were probably thinking, why are you watching these?
Waste time doing that. But now it's like,
now you know.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna buy stuff that I would never have even considered before because it fits. So yeah, Death Sentence totally solid watch.
It sounds like a 4.
It's about a 4.
Okay.
For that specific criteria, but even so, it's like a 7.5 or something. Like it's a pretty good movie. For what it is.
By the way, Spring Breakers is like a 1.
Apparently. Yeah.
It was really bad. It was so bad watching that at work. That was a terrible time.
Like tedious, like just not.
It was tedious and kind of like weird and awkward, and then by the end I'm just like, now I have to go back to like my job. And like, what the fuck?
I mean, I guess, yeah, context is everything. Like watching it in a theater when you want to see it or watching it at home, like just while you're hanging out, like it's like, okay, this is great. But yeah, I don't know if that would fit work. I might watch that with like commentary at work. Kind of get some lessons.
With like headphones or something while other people are answering phones or something.
Yeah, just kind of study Spring Breakers.
Sure. Maybe. Okay.
Olympus Has Fallen. I guess for some of this stuff.
That's a solid 3 out of 5 for work. It was okay.
Okay. For this week, a lot of it has also been kind of just good background movies while I'm packing. So Olympus Has Fallen was that, of just like, turn this on, Like, kind of, I didn't like the start very much. Like, it was just kind of like heavy-handed and just like, oh, this lady
For no
died.
reason
Yeah,
at
like
all.
just like trying to set up this weird rift between Gerard Butler's character and the president, and just be kind of like,
Who are obviously like best friends, like
yeah,
brothers.
it's
Basically.
kind of weird. Like, it's just like that was nobody's fault. Like, that was just a car accident. Like, I don't know why this has kind of done this thing, but I guess they kind of need to put this character in a position where he is not still on the staff, because then he would just be another corpse when it all goes off. So, okay, whatever. Like, for those who don't know, this is kind of basically a Die Hard type premise of...
It is Die Hard, essentially.
Yeah, but with the White House. So the White House gets besieged by terrorists. I think they're from North Korea. They fly over DC with like a chain gun toting plane and just shoot everybody, including the airplane sent to intercept them, which is like, oh, okay, I guess fair enough. Although I was like, man, there'd be way more airplanes swarming this thing if it was just like brazenly flying over Washington DC with no call signs or anything. Like, it's just like, what are you doing? Anyway, so then they kind of, because of this airplane incident, they bring the president inside the safe house. Oh no, turns out there were traitors inside the cabinet. Oh, dip. Gerard Butler, though, knows all the secret entrances to the White House because he used to be part of the detail. He kind of runs down there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Gets
like
involved.
when you look at it that way, where it's like, well, it had to be somebody that was close enough, not only to the family, but to his job, where like when shit goes off the handle, first of all, he's no longer there, so he's not dead instantly from the surprise attack. And two, he has to know that place better than the president. Basically.
Yeah. And I mean, for what I kind of like caught of just kind of like, I am sorting, like, honestly, a lot of it was I am putting magic cards in a binder. And also this action movie is on, and kind of when I would glance up and see stuff going on and kind of just generally getting the sense of it, it seemed okay. Like, it seemed like it had
it's solid. It's okay.
Yeah, there's like, like the whole siege of the White House scene is okay. Like, there's some like snipers and like some nice handgun blasting and those chain guns and everything. Like, it was just like
the whole like Splinter Cell part that like where he's kind of sneaking around is pretty solid. Like,
okay,
all of it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, it's Antoine Fuqua, the Tears of the Sun / Training Day guy, who...
Did you see Tears of the Sun?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Yeah, okay.
It was like crazy heavy-handed about its whole thing, and
just kind of boring and dumb.
Yeah, like, I saw it in cheap theaters like a decade ago, and I barely remember anything about it except Bruce Willis is there, and they kind of, at some point, they need to like get over a border or something. Like, get over a fence, maybe? Like, they need to get out of a certain territory?
No, see, it's so annoying because they were sent in. They're a SEALs team, if I remember.
Yeah.
And they're sent in to extract somebody who's, like, working in, like, a camp sort of thing. Like, she's...
really dark about, like, torture and stuff. Like, it was like, there's all these people.
I don't remember that specifically, but she was a doctor. Like, she was trying to save some people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The whole premise is she's like, well, I'm not going if you don't save everybody here.
Right. So there's like all these.
That's fucking stupid.
Refugee people that they also help, and like they need to get them out of this zone or something, or they will be genocided. Like, it got.
And spoilers alert! It's a Bruce Willis movie, so he dies.
Oh, does
he?
So
like, yeah, if I remember correctly, he like dies saving them, sort of thing, because. Yeah. The most heavy-handed part of that whole movie is like he doesn't want to do this stuff because he's only sent in to save her, blah blah blah, and then he grows a heart or something and like saves everybody
around him, and yeah, it was weirdly like trying to be tear jerky, but just kind of.
And then at the very end, it's like the greatest evil is when good men do nothing or something like that.
Chill.
And like that's the final scene, like when it cuts to black before the credits, that's the final thing it says, if I remember. And at that point I was just basically like, well, I'm throwing this out the window. Like,
fuck you. Yeah.
Pretty much just like double fingers up, just like fuck you.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that movie being especially good. But this was, I mean, knowing especially it was kind of thrown together. Like, it was like, White House Down is coming out, we need to one up that. Make this movie. I still haven't seen White House Down, so I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh,
fine.
dude, he did Shooter.
Yeah, he did Shooter. That was okay.
Shooter was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Like,
and it had
Sniper.
It had Kate Mara in it, or Mara, however you want to say her name.
Okay.
Yeah, she was the girl. I don't know how else to say that, but
the girl in that film. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, like the main girl sort of thing.
No, I mean he can kind of put together an action movie, like solid bit of business, but yeah, I don't know. There's people
he did King Arthur. Wow.
Are you serious? I need to watch that, dude. Do you know why? Because Mads Mikkelsen and Hugh Dancy are in it. Stars of Hannibal. Weird, right? Okay. They're like members of the Round Table. So now it's just like, oh, weird. Get to go back and see them in totally.
I mean, obviously the big names are Keira Knightley and Clive Owen, but
yeah, sure. No, I know. It's just kind of like the rise of Mads Mikkelsen. That's kind of a dude.
What do you think about Keira Knightley?
I don't know. Like, even in movies where like I generally like the movie, she is like never my favorite part of it. Like what was it?
Pirates movies, like all of them.
I guess all the Pirates movies, but what was that Cronenberg movie with Fassbender and Viggo Mortensen?
Oh, holy shit! Hold on,
it's like dangerous something. The word dangerous.
Dude, I think you just made it worse. I felt like I had it and now I lost it.
Okay. Anyway, that
dangerous
psychologists, like psychiatrists in there.
Method. A dangerous method.
A dangerous method, yeah. Like, I just felt of all the actors, she was the one kind of like trying the hardest, but not kind of getting there. Like, it's kind of this weird thing of just like,
I guess you could say that about every role she's in.
Really going for it, but it's just like just Vincent Cassel is effortlessly way more interesting, and I don't know what it is. Like, sorry, but
well, I mean, it's one of those things that like why actors get to where they are for the most part. They just have like a charisma about them.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt that she had that charisma. I don't know why. Anyways, so yeah, I keep derailing you. Keep talking about Olympus Has Fallen.
Whatever. It is a solid action movie. It does its job. 2012, I also had on as a background movie.
Okay.
Roland Emmerich occasionally just does some stuff that brings a smile to my face. Like, it's just like, that is the dumbest spectacle ever. Fantastic.
Are you talking about the arcs?
No, because that whole part of the movie is so heavy-handed and not fun.
Yeah, it really is. Everything else is fine.
It is like, well, even the first time I saw it, I was like, man, that movie was kind of really downhill after they hit the White House with an aircraft carrier. And that is the last amazing thing in that movie. And then it's kind of this weird, kind of illogical, heavy-handed thing about like, oh, who should we save? I mean, we can't let these people die. And it's like, 6+ billion people have already died. Like, I don't know why suddenly we're hand-wringing over like a dog or a handful of people. Like, it's just this weird kind of thing of like the movie kind of gets way smaller in scale, but if you think about what you've already seen, it's just like, this is so stupid. Like, there are scenes where it's just like, oh, is that little dog gonna make it? Like, it's walking across this cable. Oh no, and it's just like, it's a dog. Like, all of the other dogs are already dead. Like, we have seen so many horrible things already happen. Like, I don't care about this. But it tries so hard to make you care. It's like, is John Cusack going to drown? It's like, I don't care. Like, there's... Again, all of Los Angeles, like, fell into the ocean. We got to watch that and go, wow, that was awesome. Like, Yosemite exploded. Like, it's just
Danny Glover is president.
Danny Glover is the president. That's true.
Like,
and he gets hit by the John F. Kennedy, like the aircraft carrier.
Greatest movie of all time. Danny Glover.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the big, ridiculous disaster movie spectacle stuff, I still just, like, go, oh, man, that's so awesome. Like, there's just, like, skyscrapers collapsing. Like, it just puts, like, Volcano and, like, Deep Impact and all that stuff just to shame. Like, it's, like, big, stupid visual effects nonsense. But then, yeah, it gets to the arcs. And it was kind of super weird watching it this time of, like, the main guy from 12 Years a Slave, like Chiwetel, I can't pronounce his last name. That guy?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that guy.
he's like a main character in this movie. And I just didn't even really pay attention before. It was just like, okay, there's this other guy. Like he's a, science aide to the White House or something. But now he is like all of the scenes of just like, we can't start the next chapter of humanity with an act of cruelty. We need to open the doors. Open the doors. And then like everyone kind of is like, we, the people of this ship, choose to open the gates. And it's like kind of supposed to be this big dramatic thing of like the people of Earth that like the survivors banding together and like helping each other. And it's just like, this is so heavy-handed and stupid. Like,
it's very stupid. Also, fuck Oliver Platt. I hate his character in that movie, and I hate him in everything. I realized I can't stand him.
I kind of realized this week I have seen so much Oliver Platt in the last couple months, like just not seeking it out. Just like, hey, I'm gonna watch Fargo. I love that movie. I'm gonna watch the TV series. Oh, Oliver Platt is like a core character in this. Okay. Oh, Harold Ramis passed away. I'm going to watch some of his movies. He is in like so many Harold Ramis movies. He's an Ice Harvest, like principal character. He was in Year One as like this priest guy with like thick body hair. Like that's
great.
Like,
okay.
Gotta oil my body hair, Michael Cera. That's the punchline.
I hate Oliver Platt. I fucking hate him.
Because of that wrestling movie he did?
No, because every fucking movie he's in, he's a piece of shit.
Okay.
And I bet he's not even acting. I bet he's just a piece of shit.
Like in 2012, he's just like, no, close the doors. Fuck it. I don't care.
Like that's probably him. That isn't even his character. He's just like, what the fuck? I don't care.
I don't care. Like, let those billionaires drown. Whatever.
I hate him
so
fucking much.
Dude, he gets kind of tormented a lot in Fargo, so you might actually like it. I don't know. Like Billy Bob
show
is kind of really putting the screws to Oliver Platt in the TV show. Yeah, in the TV show.
Okay.
I still dig that show, though I will say there was kind of like a lot of CG blizzard happening in the most recent episode. Like it's
because we haven't had a blizzard in Calgary in a while.
Yeah. So it's like in our city, and it's just like, oh, the weather was never like that in the past few months, and it just kind of looks fake somehow. Like it's just like,
well, because we know that it hasn't happened. That's probably a huge part.
Yeah, but like also just the zero visibility, like walking in the snow and you can't see like 20 feet away at all, kind of thing. It's just like that.
There have been a few occasions where that's happened, and it sucks. But it doesn't happen often.
In this episode at an like, incredibly dramatic time, which seemed really weird. Like it was just like, it's kind of convenient. I don't know, but generally, I'm still digging that show. Hannibal season 2 ended, and I thought ended quite well. Although totally did the thing where like when you know a show is kind of in a weird place where they don't know they're going to come back next season, they always kind of do an extra super cliffhanger. This sort of did that of just like, I have no idea if like 4 of the principal cast members are still alive or not. Like it's just like everyone is in a bad state, and I don't know if they're going to be back or not, because they're like, well, you better renew us, huh, NBC? I mean, look at where we left it. It's like, oh, okay, season 3 then. I don't know. It was good though. It was just kind of this weird, unsatisfying thing of like there has not been closure yet on several key questions. But yeah, still pretty solid stuff. Man, I'm trying to think. I was clicking on so many. Oh, The Rock. I watched The Rock again. That is a fine film. I still really dig it.
Sure.
You're the Rocket Man, he says to Tony Todd, and then he hits him in the chest with a rocket. He flies out the window. It's great. Yeah. I don't know. There's some great, dumb action movie stuff in that movie, too. It's just big, ridiculous chases. You get the guy who's like, oh, no, he stole my car, and then it gets wrecked up in the chase. You know, good times. Good 90s action movie times. I guess Aaron Sorkin and Quentin Tarantino contributed to that script, uncredited. Fun fact that I read about after watching it. Wait, Ed Harris was... Oh, yeah. Ed Harris was in that. He was also in Glengarry Glen Ross, which I watched this morning. Just nonstop on movies on Netflix over here. Have you ever seen Glengarry Glen Ross?
Nope.
Salesmen like cursing up a storm and like competing. It's pretty great. It's like it's a stage adaptation kind of thing, but it's just a bunch of heavy hitter actors kind of sparring with each other. A lot of great Jack Lemmon, like just him kind of trying to be a smooth salesman, but just kind of failing, and it's really kind of sad. Or just like him lying blatantly to people on the phone. Great, I don't know, great stuff. And yeah, Ed Harris is in it too. He's pretty upset. He says bullshit like so many times. So yeah, and Alec Baldwin has like one scene, but he's just basically chewing out everybody. Like it's just the most like shit talking in one sequence.
Oh, so it's just him showing up to set that day then.
Kind of, but they give him material to kind of riff on specifically, so it's kind of fun to watch. Like it was pretty much the only reason I started the movie, because I was like, this is pretty early in the movie. I just want to see that scene, and then I was like, whatever, I'll just leave this on and pack some boxes. So it worked out. But yeah, just movies all the time. Oh, we also started watching Scenes from a Marriage.
Okay.
That's a fun film. It's okay. Ingmar Bergman did a kind of 6-part TV show over in Sweden in the early 70s about just kind of relationships and couples and stuff. And it's pretty thoughtful stuff, and definitely kind of a conversation piece for couples if you watch it, of just like, have you ever felt...
good, because I need more of those. I need more conversation pieces.
That is basically why I chose to watch it, though. Like I was like, we should make this kind of like this weird relationship building exercise and watch this Swedish TV show. So I'm having a great time doing that. But it is okay. Kind of it is conversations about relationships, the movie, but they kind of just come up with like, totally everyday situations of just like, when that kind of awkward couple comes over for dinner, and then like there's kind of this double date thing that this one couple starts fighting, and it's
between us, which one of us is the awkward couple?
I don't know. I like awkward in I don't know.
Like it's probably Brittany and Aaron, because we're together.
Oh yeah, because
they're probably the awkward couple.
Yeah,
like because then you and I double date with them basically.
Yeah. When
we're hanging out, so that's probably where it is.
Thinking about their business that they both work at, like they both share. So yeah, it's not quite.
I guess we don't need to feed the ship or whatever the hell it's called.
We're fighting about our job all the time or something, but yeah,
that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it won't, because we don't see each other. So
right. So that there was that. Man, yeah. I guess maybe that has finally caught me up on all the movie stuff I've been clicking on. If I recall correctly. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Movies.
Yeah, that was a pretty big selection for a couple days. So
it's like 3 days. 6 movies or something. Like just click, keep watching. Oh, whatever. Sorry. Probably the most interesting and most recent and most topical. I just watched XMen Days of Future Past or whatever. Days of Future Past, the new one.
Okay.
That new XMen film. Mm-hmm. And I guess I was surprised to hear like, I don't really care about that. I don't want to watch that. From
because that last X-Men movie wasn't good. So
last you didn't like that one?
No, I didn't. Not like very much at all.
Aspect of it whatsoever?
No, of course there was some great stuff in it. Overall, I felt like it was a waste of time though, and I should have just YouTubed the cool parts.
I guess I don't know. Like I kind of went into this movie like with a bit of a kind of. I mean, I haven't been on a superhero hot streak recently of just caring about any of that stuff. Like,
see, and that's why it's interesting to me. You actually went to go see it.
I guess that's I kind of on the flip side. Like it's interesting to me that somebody who was way into like kind of some of the Avengers things didn't go see this one. But I guess because it's distance from that stuff. Is that why? Or
maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like like I went and saw Spider-Man because I feel like that stuff is safely isolated from the giant Marvel movie machine of every movie is an ad for the next movie. This movie is just another X-Men movie, and there hasn't been one in like 2 years, and there won't be another 2 years.
I think I was thinking actually recently back on the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. It must have been because this movie was coming out soon when I was like
so now that I think back. Wolverine came out last year. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. But like I was thinking recently about these movies, and I realized the last one I actually really liked was the first one, and then Wolverine or like X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, okay. We're like
those are the two I like. So
you don't like X2?
No, not as much as the first.
Okay, like because that was my high watermark forever for like superhero anything.
It's a really good one for sure.
Yeah, like I actually kind of didn't like the first movie. I just thought it was kind of lackluster in terms of visual pizzazz. Like the fights and stuff just aren't that crazy.
I think I liked them all kind of joining together. Like that was where like they became a group sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And I think I liked that, where it was almost like an origin story, but not for each character, for the X-Men.
Sure, like the final figures arrive, like Rogue and Wolverine show up, and then
but not like the literal origin, which I found boring. So
yeah. Fair enough, I guess. This is kind of going for like a big, super huge dilemma that all the X-Men need to deal with. And it's weird because
Sentinels.
It's Sentinels. It's all
okay. I honestly didn't know, so I figured I'd ask.
So this movie opens with like the world has been ravaged by Sentinels for a long time, and mutants are on the brink of extinction, and it's really, really bad. So honestly, it is Terminator with X-Men. Like this premise is basically we are on the brink of death in the war-torn future. We need to go back in time and prevent this from ever happening. Go.
That sounds infinitely more interesting than I thought it would be.
Okay.
So you might have piqued my interest a little bit here, actually.
Yeah, it's also a weird way of kind of like tying together First Class and the other X-Men movies without just kind of committing to that having been a reboot, which is kind of weird. Like, it's just like, how about we do a time travel story where Wolverine goes back, and in that way we can still have like Ellen Page and Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen and Anna Paquin and those people, and we'll also have
Anna Paquin.
She's
all right.
3 seconds. Like, actually.
That's way more screen time than I thought they'd give her. Okay.
She apparently used to have a full-blown action scene or something, and they just cut it for time and pacing and stuff. So, yeah, she's in the movie for...
Well, yeah, because fuck Rogue? Like, sorry, Rogue fans, but...
Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. She doesn't really do anything.
You know who's even lamer, actually, is Jubilee.
I don't think she does not factor into this at all either. What is her power?
I don't even remember. She like creates sparkles or something.
Okay.
Out of her hand. I don't know, like fireworks or something. I don't know. It's something so fucking stupid.
Yeah, there are mutants with some pretty lame powers. That was kind of my big issue with First Class, of just like, man, there are some second-rate mutants in this group. Like, I do not care.
And the first-rate mutants don't get nearly enough screen time unless they're Magneto.
Right.
Like, really.
Really, like, okay, yeah. Actually, watching this movie, I realized how many times has kind of the show-stopping big moment been Magneto does something cool? Like, almost all of them, maybe? Like, in 3,
that's
he
because
a giant bridge. In 2, he has this cool escape with the ball bearings, where he just uses, like, 2 little ball bearings to, like, shatter everything and, like, fly on this disc and escape. I thought that was, like, a high point for that movie.
You know what else was a high point?
Class, he lifts a submarine.
And there's too much iron in your blood, and he fucking rips the blood out. Like, he is awesome.
That's the part. So, yeah, like, it's kind of just everyone waiting around for Magneto to do something nuts, and he does something pretty nuts in this one, too. Like, it's kind of weird to be like, all the other mutants just kind of have low-rent powers next to this guy. Like, you know, it's like technically Xavier's doing some pretty crazy stuff. Like his mind, he's talking to someone like decades later or something, but it's like, whatever. Like visually that doesn't look crazy. Whereas, you know, Magneto's just rending everything with his mind and just moving his hands around and stuff. Yeah, it has kind of a moment like that. Quicksilver gets a cool moment and then is kind of just not in the rest of the movie, which is kind of weird. Like, I guess I will say, the cool moment totally reminded me of Clock Stoppers. Like, it was basically just Clock Stoppers. Do you remember that movie? Michael Biehn is in it. It's like a Nickelodeon.
No, not really.
So these kids get these super watches that let them speed up themselves. basically. Like, so time appears to have slowed down, and they can kind of just accomplish a lot in a little amount of time. It's that gag, essentially, of just like, dudes are shooting bullets at them, and Quicksilver has all the time in the world to fix that situation, essentially, because he's so fast. So
Matrix.
Matrix, or I guess the Flash,
or the Flash. Yeah, okay.
Thing, that is what.
Did you see that teaser thing?
No, for the TV show.
Yeah.
Does it look good?
Well, it's a teaser, right? So it doesn't show anything. Okay, so what it is Green Arrow, right?
Yeah.
He's about to shoot. I can't remember if it was like a tree or like a target, just something.
Yeah.
And like he shoots the arrow, and then the Flash comes in and like grabs it in midair.
That's
and
it.
He's like, "Whoa, that was sweet," or something. And then it's like CW or whatever the fuck it's playing on.
Oh, that's it. It's not like he writes. Just he carves a bunch of stuff on the tree because he's so damn fast.
Nope, nothing like that. Also, you can see him coming the whole time, so he isn't just instant fast.
Ah, okay.
So it's kind of weird. But anyways,
instant fast stuff. But they also kind of underuse him. Like, they use him one time, and it's really fun to watch, and then they just kind of move on. Like, it's just like, all right, thanks for doing that thing that was incredibly important to the plot. Bye, and then they just leave, and that's it. Yeah, a lot of Trask, who is Peter Dinklage in the movie. A lot of Mystique, which I feel is basically like, oh, Jennifer Lawrence is like really popular now.
Well, yeah, the Hunger Games did well, so of course there's a lot of Mystique.
Writing scenes for this character and make her super integral to everything. And it's just like,
what's your opinion on Jennifer Lawrence?
She was pretty good in American Hustle. Like, she had a cool turn in that.
Just in general.
I didn't like Winter's Bone. I guess, yeah, I'm still talking. Capable actress, but she's getting really cocky really fast, maybe, because the world is her oyster right now. So, I don't know.
Okay. Is she hot? I can't tell. Because sometimes, yes. Sometimes, eh.
I don't know. She doesn't put pencil in my lead as much as other folks in this movie. So,
like, sometimes yes, though, and sometimes no. I don't know.
I guess she's like super flirtatious and such in American Hustle, so sometimes yes, I guess. Yeah. Her character's fun in that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes.
Was she in Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's in that.
I haven't seen that movie.
She won Best Actress for that movie, so yeah.
Oh, okay. So she was good in it then.
Yeah, she's good. A lot
good for her.
And like jogging, and also acting and stuff.
She's never done anything for me as Mystique though, ever.
Yeah, so. It's Mystique, blue, person. She's kicking people, a lot of kicking people, choking people with her feet.
Wasn't it like Rebecca Romaine?
Yeah,
in the first one, first two.
The first two. Yeah, I guess they never have like older Mystique and with that kind of stuff. Like there's some characters where they have like the people who played them in the other, like the trilogy, I guess, come back, but then there's some that are just kind of we'll just go with the new one.
I think I liked that Mystique, maybe. I don't remember. So whatever. Anyways,
it was, as I was watching it, there were definitely moments where I was kind of just, having a kind of time. Like First Class, I felt like had some high points, had some low points, kind of like what you're saying. I feel like this movie added up to that was okay. Like at the end of it, it was a decent watch.
Okay.
But I wasn't like super enamored with a lot of the stuff. Like it's a lot of just retconning history and like putting mutant stuff in it. So it's just like the Vietnam War, but mutants. The Kennedy assassination, but with mutants.
Well, that's kind of what XMen was always. So
yeah,
that's fine.
So it's kind of a lot of that, and but with this new threat of the Sentinels, who are like, honestly, watching the Sentinel stuff was just like, oh, this is like the T-1000. Like the Terminator comparison just kept going. Like it was like they basically are liquid metal. They like turn their arms into swords and like stab people. They also have basically Kirby's ability of adapting to different powers and using different powers. So Kirby comparisons, I guess.
Yay?
But yeah, they cause a lot of problems for the mutants. Oh, dude. So all the future stuff, I don't know why I was on this wavelength, but like I guess a couple things put me there. It all just looked like Mortal Kombat to me. Like it was like they were surrounded by pagodas and like they were on this high mountain place and there was like temples. There was a bunch of storm stuff, so I was just like, oh, Raiden. And
yeah, there was a guy just going like round one, fight over and over.
Like that, but like it's just the aesthetic of it. And there's like some random mutant, I don't even know his name, who's just this kind of like Asian dude with long black hair. And I was like, oh, Liu Kang is here. And I don't know why, but there he is.
What's his power?
Oh man, I'm trying to even think. I think he can kind of like, he's the guy that can sense when stuff is coming. So he's like, oh crap, the Sentinels, they're 10 miles away. Like he's like their lookout. So he can kind of see or sense stuff from far away before it happens. Maybe he's a bit of a seer. Maybe he can kind of see in the future. I don't know.
So like that chick in the Wolverine Takes on Tokyo movie?
Wolverine Takes on Tokyo. Oh, I guess maybe a little bit.
Where she can like see 5 seconds in the future or something dumb.
It's a little more than that maybe, but yeah.
Okay.
It gives them a bit of a heads up that Sentinels are coming and this time travel thing. I guess the time travel thing, they're actually projecting Wolverine's consciousness back into the past because he was there too, because he's hundreds of years old and everything. And also his healing ability lets his brain deal with this process. And Kitty Pryde, like somehow her I can walk through walls ability also means I can project consciousnesses to the past. I don't know. It's mutant powers. Final thing, Portal is basically just in the movie. Like there's a mutant who is called Link, I think. She's like an Asian lady with like kind of fairy like elf ears and like pinkish hair, and she can just make portals happen. Like they do so many portal gags of just like, all right, so we're gonna put a portal beside the enemy, then put another portal on the ground. Colossus will go through it and then get tons of momentum falling from the sky, and then we'll put it behind the thing and then it'll hit it with super fast momentum. Or like just the thing shooting a thing at us, I will put a portal in front of the beam that's about to hit me and then a portal behind it and it'll shoot itself. Like stuff like that.
Amazing. All right.
Portals everywhere.
All right, I just looked him up, by the way. That mutant's name is Warpath, apparently.
Liu Kang is Warpath?
Yeah, and his like the actual dude's name is Boo Boo Stewart.
The actor or the character?
Yeah. No, the actor.
Weird. Okay.
Amazing, right?
Name,
Boo Boo.
Boo Boo. So yeah, Boo Boo is Liu Kang, and yeah, Raiden.
But he apparently isn't supposed to be Asian. He's supposed to be like Indian or like American. What are they called? Native American.
Too, but I wasn't really really sure. Like he kind of has like some face paint, so that's the clue. It's racist.
Well, I mean yeah, no, yeah. Warpath, like the actual mutant, is Apache apparently.
Okay, so I guess he was kind of a combination of Liu Kang and Nighthawk then.
Like he's supposed to be more Nighthawk by the looks of it, but okay.
Okay. So he's kind of like Nighthawk, but visually with the black hair. Remind me of Liu Kang.
You're so racist. Everybody looks the same when they're not white, don't they, Nathan?
That's not true. I didn't say that.
Halle Berry is Warpath.
Oh yeah, she was there. No, yeah. But now I'm thinking about it, like maybe timeline wise, maybe like Mortal Kombat stole all of its powers from XMen, because I mean it already existed for decades.
Like who knew? Who knows, right?
Right. So it's just like, hey, weather powers done. One of our characters has lightning,
or just such basic ideas that anybody,
elements, like that. Everyone's done that forever. So I just the combination of all of the things,
because like Mega Man did that first, even if you like before either of them. Well, there's just like Electric Man.
Yeah. So whatever, the combination of all those things made me convinced I was watching like the biggest budget Mortal Kombat movie ever. It was fine. And that's it. That brings us up to the current time of movies I have seen. So, boom.
Okay. I guess it's my turn to take over the mic a little bit, huh?
Yeah. Okay. What do you got?
I played that new Wolfenstein.
Oh, I was actually kind of thinking about doing that at some point. The New Order. How is it?
It's really good. It is fantastic in a way that I haven't felt about a first-person shooter since Singularity.
I was getting some Singularity vibes from seeing stuff about it. That was like 5.
Oh, dude, when you start playing it, that game is Wolfenstein Singularity Order.
Great. Okay.
It's so good. It does some great things, but like
they're just like own jibs and everything. Like you're just
like imagine Singularity, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now imagine it's done in kind of a campy, kind of stupid, but still self-serious action style, like a movie.
Okay.
That's what this is.
so like more cutscene kind of stuff, or I heard there's kind of weirdly serious cutscenes.
Mm-hmm. There are.
Okay.
But you are dealing with Nazis.
Also Nazis.
And war. So there is stuff in there that is kind of serious, but then at the same time, they won and technology is booming.
Yeah, it kind of sounded like Resistance or something, and that it's like...
Yep, it is like that too.
It went down a different path, and in this case, it is the Nazis won and war technology kept getting crazy. So,
right.
Okay.
And they explain why the Nazis won and like why technology is like that.
Like, are they still fighting with somebody in order for there to be kind of war economy for
like,
a couple extra...
Would it be spoilery to tell you about some stuff that's like about 2 hours in to a 10-hour campaign?
It's like a bloody action shooter, so I just kind of... As long as the core shooting is fun, like you can...
The core shooting is... Yeah, it's totally fine. And it's an id Software game.
Yeah.
So, you know how you have like one knife? Well, you can have also 2 knives. Or if you have one handgun, you can have 2 handguns. Or if you have one assault rifle, you can have 2. If you have one shotgun, you can have 2 shotguns.
Just full dual wielding on everything.
Yep, on everything. So
okay.
That's kind of great, except dual wielding is kind of terrible. I don't like it because I like to aim.
I like iron sights, yeah. So it's like you can't do that when you have 2 guns.
But I will say there was one part where you're just kind of going through like these trenches right at the beginning and just like running around dual wielding guns. Like the machine gun fires fast enough. The assault rifle, I guess, technically fires fast enough by itself, right?
Yeah.
So instead of just like running around going like or something, you're just like this crazy automatic gun, bullets everywhere as you're running down a hallway sort of thing. So there were a few moments where that's kind of great. But no, like with Wolfenstein, you find out in a little bit after the beginning stuff, you save a dude and he's just like, we're part of this organization that's kind of been working behind the scenes for like ever sort of thing. And we are like the greatest thinkers and like engineers and stuff like that. And we've created technology like so far in advance. Like they're like the Nazis got a hold of our like technology sort of thing. And that's what helped them win the war and stuff and why they keep advancing. So it's not that because Nazism is cool, but it's because they stumbled upon to it and like stole it from this group.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting is I haven't finished the game yet. What's interesting is in that same part, he's just like, I'm going to I'll take you to the thing and we'll find some technology to like fight back with or whatever. And he's like, the stuff that the Nazis stole, like this stuff that you're about to go on is so far beyond your comprehension that it's basically going to seem like magic. So now I'm like, great, magic powers, here we go. So I'm thinking that's what's next. And I'm really excited about that.
Huh.
So it's kind of like I think they're going to introduce this weird like magic thing, not magic like where you're throwing fireballs maybe, but this weird technological stuff that's so far advanced, but it's okay because it makes sense in this context where it's just like, no, these people have been like creating this stuff forever and they're going to show it to you.
Did you play the one Raven made in 2009?
I did. I didn't like it.
Oh, okay. Just like that stuff
that felt like a Call of Duty to me.
Oh, well, it had like this kind of power where you'd go beyond the veil, and then it was this kind of weird realm where you could do some weird kind of power stuff. But...
Well, no, because there's always not these games, I should say specifically, but in Nazi lore, the whole idea that they were into paranormal stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's always worked its way into like this type of media.
Kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's always worked its way into like this type of media involving Nazis and stuff, and like Hellboy and stuff like that. It just makes for more interesting context than Call of Duty Trench Warfare, which was actually what happened.
Yeah.
Which is way more boring than like if you had powers of some sort. So I have a feeling they're going to go that way again and maybe try to explain it a little bit more in a technological level, but it still won't make sense because one, it's a video game, and two, it's not supposed to.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game has that singularity feel where it's like as you're walking through everywhere, there's like little clippings of newspapers or like books and stuff like that. And everything about this world is like, this is actually the world if the Nazis took over, where there's still like the Beatles sort of thing.
Yeah, that's the one I keep hearing about, which is super weird.
Well, because it's great. It's so good. But it's like yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of weird stuff like that. I think there's one for the Beach Boys as well. Mm-hmm. But there's stuff like that all over the world. So it really gives you this feel like you're in this time, this place. But then at the same time, weird weird Nazi like robot dogs and stuff like that are around. So my biggest complaint is, I don't know if this is like just getting nitpicky. It seemed, and this is a problem I've always had with Wolfenstein games, it's so easy. It's just like, your bad guys are Nazis. Nobody has to question anything. Nobody has to build them up as characters. Nobody has to do anything. Nazis are bad, so you should feel good about killing them. I feel like they don't have to do anything to write the enemy, and that feels lazy to me.
Oh, okay. So they don't they don't try to build up some cool commandant character or anything.
They do. Well, they do, but like the way they build it up is this Nazi is more Nazi than this Nazi.
Okay.
Like this one is more like gross than this Nazi. This is just a bad person sort of thing. Right. And that's always just felt gross to me in all media, where it's just like, we're choosing to portray this type of thing where there is a clear enemy. Oh, it's Nazis. It's the most hated group of every generation ever, for every like race, creed, religion. Everyone hates the Nazis. We don't have to like, dude, history created our villain for our video game for us. We don't have to think.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I mean, there's movies and stuff like Das Boot, which is from the perspective of a U-boat like crew. So you kind of get to see.
That's a different thing completely, though, because they're not going for pulpy in the way
I know.
Does.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's like few examples I can even think of where the Nazis are actually developed as characters. Like German soldiers are anything other than dudes to shoot.
Even in just like the 10-minute part of The Pianist sort of thing. Like there are movies that do that very well. They like, but I don't. This is another thing where like if somebody were to say video games aren't art, this game would kind of be like, yeah, you're right, because movies can portray the most hated enemy for everybody in still a way that like, well, there were some humans, where all video games are just like, no, you're right, Nazis, kill them with a chainsaw, with whatever you can pick up.
No, so, it is a pretty easy thing to fall back.
Because the problem is, if you act sympathetic with Nazis in a game where you're controlling a player, you're saying a bad message to the player that like you should feel sorry for the Nazis sort of thing. Like, we're putting you in this position. Like, it's almost forcing a weird belief on you that shouldn't be true. Or that player is going to hate your game because they are Jewish or black or have history with this stuff. And it's disgusting to like sympathize, to be put in. When you're spectating, you can see the humanity in something. When you're put into a situation where you're supposed to sympathize with the worst people of all time, that's a different story. So I don't know if video games can ever clear that boundary. But I'm just saying, Wolfenstein, as all video games that try to do this sort of thing, doesn't even try, and it's just kill them in the most gruesome way. That being said, when you do kill them in the most gruesome way, it is very satisfying. And I don't know if it's just bloodlust of being a human being, or if it's because it's Nazis, but either way, it's just kind of cool in a lot of spots, like stabbing a Nazi dude in the ear as a stealth kill, and like just gross stuff like that. So
I'm still just thinking on this issue of like easy video game antagonist, and it's kind of weird that like the few times I've heard people kind of say it was a little awkward was once it's Pacific Theater stuff, like World at War,
like Vietnam stuff.
No, I'm saying like the Japanese side of it is a little less black and white to people, of just like, oh yeah, they were bad guys. Whereas it seems like that is a little more, yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, we bombed them with nukes after, and we still feel bad about that. And like, there were people kind of trapped on these islands for years after the fact that thought the war was still on, and
well, yeah,
stuff. Like there's a little more thought put into the Pacific stuff.
Dude, even the Italian
Nazis,
like,
yeah, like it's
even
like,
the
what was their role? Were they bad guys or not? Like,
I'm not saying the Axis. I'm saying when you specifically say Nazi, hatred comes up in your heart a little bit because they were just so disgusting and reprehensible that you're just like, well, this is the obvious villain, and I don't know how much I loved the obvious villain thing.
It's being used as like a blanket term for like the extreme, like higher rank folk that were doing all the big stuff. Like it's like German regulars, like they're just kind of soldiers, like they were kind of drafted from all over.
Yeah, but in this game they're all Nazis, even the normal soldiers.
Exactly,
like, they're all terrible people
labeled as Nazis. They're not like go fight the German soldiers or whatever.
That being said, there is a German in like your refugee camp sort of thing, like your resistance, and like his backstory is that like I think it was his son or daughter or something was sick, and he asked the doctor not to like rat them out, sort of thing, because the Aryan regime or the Nazi regime or whatever, you can't have any weak people or some dumb bullshit like that.
Okay.
And yeah, like he basically watched his kid and wife get killed in front of his eyes, sort of thing. Like, so there is still a German there, but it still feels a little bit weird in another way, where it's just like, it almost feels like the token German, where it's like, no, see, not all Germans are bad, but Nazis. Which is almost grosser in a way, where it's like, if they were just going full bore, like, no, like, all of Germany is Nazis, kill them all, it's like, okay, this is just stupid. But now they're trying to put in a human element with, like, a completely inhuman monster, which is also the same it's the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird if you get too thought-provoking with it. Thing is, a few of the parts, you're going through with 2 knives, and you're stabbing dudes in the ear. Great.
Like, I'm just thinking, like, Singularity is basically like those damn commies, and
the Russians. It is.
Yeah. Yes. Like, that's just as like not nuanced video game bad guy. So, okay, now I want to ask, like, who the hell are you fighting in Watch Dogs that needs to be shot? Like, is it big corporations or like
it's criminals? As far as I can see so far, it's like everybody. I think he's trying to go after the people that like fucked him over, basically, in the end game. I think that's what it's going to be, but for now it's just kind of like vigilante justice, because I'm loose.
So
I'm a loose cannon.
So it's criminals. He's taken the fight to crime with...
I think so. Kind of like a technologically advanced but not as cool Batman with no morals.
Okay. Yeah. So like, again, I'm coming back to like vigilante, like Travis Bickle, but in 2014 with a computer. And
with probably less like good writing behind it.
Okay.
But this is what I'm getting at. Video games, art, blah, blah, blah. For me, they're supposed to be fun. I don't need a social commentary. My thing is that if you're going to do a bad guy, at least give me like robots or aliens, or I don't know, like think up something. Nazis, come on. Again. But but it's Wolfenstein. I'll let it slide. I'm just saying. Well, I mean,
because it's Wolfenstein. Like, it has always been about that. So,
of course. They can't change now. I understand that. Because, fucking Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
It's always been about Nazis. When they tried to throw aliens in there, people flipped.
Did.
So
like,
there's that.
It makes sense. Like, why would it be the Nazis again? And it's just like, no. Stupid.
Right.
So stupid.
And I'm not saying I want Wolfenstein to go the alien route. I don't mind that it's Nazis, because I grew up with Wolfenstein 3D. I didn't grow up with the original Wolfenstein games because they were on Amiga or Apple IIs and like Amigas and shit. But
yeah.
But I grew up with Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah.
And like Wolfenstein is, if I want to kill a Nazi, it's Wolfenstein. That's the name that comes in my head. They are totally fine. I'm just saying, back off everyone else that tries this, maybe.
So
like,
you said the like Raven made one, which they actually did make Singularity. Like
they did make Singularity.
It felt too much like Call of Duty. How is this not feeling like Call of Duty? Like, what is it doing differently? Like, it's got knives and iron sights. Like, that's Call of Duty, right?
I think this has more to do with, it has more of the id Software feel, where it's like one dude versus everything. Whereas Call of Duty is very much like, no, we're trying to do like a war thing, and you have platoons of people, you have different people you're going to jump between campaigns with and stuff like that, and giant set pieces.
This is using id tech, but it isn't id Software, right?
Right.
Like, this is a new team that's made of, like, Darkness veterans or something, right?
Darkness veterans?
Like, I think it's a lot of Starbreeze people.
So, it might be. Is Starbreeze still around?
Starbreeze, I mean, in some form, because their logo is on Payday 2, but I don't think they were, like, the core team on that either. But I'm trying to think what the last big release they kind of did.
Like, I know it's published by Bethesda.
Yeah,
which has little to nothing to do with anything in the actual game. I don't know actually who created it.
I forget the team's name. I'm pretty sure they're a new team. I'm just kind of quoting stuff from a Total Biscuits video on that.
I haven't seen his video yet.
Dude, do you want to talk about, like, Total Biscuits' current situation? Which is crazy.
Well, he has cancer.
Like, real bad. Like, chemotherapy starts real soon. Like, his kind of... He posted the video a couple weeks ago of, like, yo, go get doctors to look at your butt. Like, don't be embarrassed. But, yeah it's escalated now. It's kind of scary.
Well, it's cancer, and the chemo is in a pill form, and it's small enough that the doctors are almost 100% sure that it'll go down and they can, like, rip it out.
Oh, okay.
So he's not worried about it at all.
Okay. Like, he seemed pretty,
in fact, he says
one video from a while ago, but okay, sorry, continue.
There was one thing in like, he tweeted something, I think the night he found out, like, for sure that it was cancer or whatever. It was like one of those twit longer things he does every now and then, and he was bringing up the time, like, 7 years ago, before he was, like, as big as he is now, where he, like, told somebody to get cancer and die or something.
Oh wow.
Like, people are still bringing that up, even though, like, he had a heart-to-heart with that dude a long time ago and apologized because he knew he was out of line and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, like, is this like a retort to a snarky comment or something?
Yeah, exactly. And then, like, I guess afterwards he was just like, that was kind of fucked up. Like, sort of thing. So he talked to that guy and they worked it out. But people rehash it because the internet never dies, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I don't know.
Like, ironic now.
Whoa. And his whole thing was just, like, saying how he's going to beat this just to spite everybody that's still giving him a hard time on that. Like, no other reason.
Okay.
So it's like, all right. He seems confident enough to talk about this.
Yeah.
So. But,
yeah,
I don't worry about that.
Just back on Wolfenstein, he seemed to be really digging it, so, yeah.
This is something I wanted to bring up with you quickly.
Okay, sorry, what?
I've developed this habit of not actually listening or hearing anyone else's videos or opinions on stuff I'm wanting to try at all.
Okay.
Do you do this at all? This is a new thing for me, because before I would be like, well, if this person says it's pretty good, maybe I'll try it out. But I've been trying this thing that's like, no, I'm just going to buy Wolfenstein, and then, like, after I played a bit and have an opinion of it, then I'll listen to what other people say. What's your stance on this?
Well, in the case of Wolfenstein, I had no real interest in it whatsoever, so I was just kind of like, other than I have liked previous Wolfenstein games, what is this one like? Oh, it's actually supposed to be okay. Cool, I didn't even know that, so maybe I'll look into it.
Well, the reason I looked into it is because I was like, I haven't played a first-person shooter. I got really into it for a while. Let's try this one out, because people are talking about we're talking about it at E3 or something, or whatever, Gamescom? Whatever the last one was.
Okay.
People were raving. I guess maybe it was PAX. People were saying, like, Wolfenstein's pretty good. I can't talk about it, but you should check it out maybe and stuff. Like, that's all I heard about it. So I'm like, maybe if it's decent, like, I'll just buy it and see what happens. And it's Singularity in a Wolfenstein world. So there you go, internet.
On occasion, it's just like, like I was like, I am sufficiently curious about Transistor, so I jumped in on that.
Your hate of Transistor made me want to play it.
Okay. So. You're welcome. I don't know. Like, honestly, I didn't like check Metacritic or anything. I didn't check reviews. I was just like, okay, it's out today. I know I should play it. Started playing it. After a couple hours, I was like, okay, I don't like this. What are people saying about it? Oh, wow. Oh, God. People are crazy. Like, it was one of those.
It can have the adverse effect, too, where it's just like, I knew for a fact, because it's just been it's been a game that's been talked up so much, that if I wasn't going to have a decent time with Watch Dogs, the internet would be insufferable for the next, 3 months.
Oh, okay. Whereas, Dirk, the internet at large seems kind of split right now. Like, there's a lot of kind of, it's kind of, I mean, there's potential here for a sequel, but, like, it's kind of, people seem to be kind of saying Assassin's Creed 1 kind of stuff of, like, this is a good start, but this needs polish and fix this, and this kind of thing. Like, even
what are the things they are saying to fix this, and this? Maybe it's stuff I would see after playing 20 hours of the game.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not trying to kind of seed discontent with stuff. Like, I haven't even seen it really firsthand, so I'm just kind of. I guess
I'm genuinely curious if there's something that I like that I'm just like, maybe I won't like this after 100 hours. Who knows?
So apparently the question is, no, I seem to generally look at coverage first and then decide some stuff. Sometimes. I mean, there are some fire bets where it's just like, no, I know I want that. So I'll buy it. Oh, other people like it too? Cool. They should, because it's great. Or they shouldn't.
This is a bad habit I've gotten back into.
Well, no, it's a pure opinion. It's not... like for a while I did this very self-consciously with movie stuff where I wouldn't check Rotten Tomatoes until after I'd seen a movie and then be like, wow, 12%, everyone's crazy. Or 98, are you serious? Like, I would never be happy with the result, apparently, is what I'm saying. But yeah, I would try not to kind of go in with an expectation. So, yeah.
I think that's the thing with me, is that I found that I will either enjoy something way more or hate something way more if I don't have an expectation. So then I can gauge for myself how I really feel about something. But the problem I'm coming up with is that, and this started when I started doing this request a game stream where people are like, I want to know about this, and then I'll just spend money. Mm-hmm. Is that I'm spending money pretty fast and furiously right now because games are coming out.
Right.
That's rough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend people do it, honestly. It's kind of as I'm talking it through here, it's just in the last week, I've spent $130 on games, which is gross. I never did that before playing indie games, but maybe I didn't have as much fun playing indie games. I'm kind of out of that idea where indie games are great and some are just good.
Sure, not really adopting it as a stance of indie games are small and interesting inherently. It's just no, a lot of them are really bad. Kind of
maybe interesting. Maybe they're all interesting if you look at the person behind it and why they would create something. But I would say maybe 40% of them are good.
And some of the ones that get lauded as good, I still don't understand. What the hell was it called? Jumping Super Pants, the game hacking.
Wait, this is a thing?
No, what is it called? It's got Super Pants, you're hacking stuff.
Oh, dude, Gunsmoke is terrible.
Gunpoint. Yeah.
Gunpoint. Gunsmoke is bad too, by the way, but Gunpoint, yeah, it's not very good.
I did not understand everyone getting
that soundtrack though. That smooth jazz.
It's Time Bomb's top 10 for that year. And it's just
well, they're wrong. They just are.
Doing? What are you talking about? You guys are crazy.
That was probably Brad because it ran at 60 frames a second.
Oh, did it? Oh.
I don't know. That's just a burn on Brad. Anyways, Wolfenstein, if you have any questions about it that you want to know specifically, I'll answer them. But I would suggest it's worth the $50 or $60 easily for me, coming from me.
And I've heard it's a long campaign too, so it's all single player. Like it is just we made a big old single player campaign.
Yep, there's no multiplayer in it at all. It's just like the old style of first person shooter where it's like you're gonna buy this, you're gonna have fun with the single player, and then you're probably done. But that should be enough for you because it runs good too. I was running it on ultra for a bit, and I found my frame rate was at like 40 to 50. I was like, no, I want this at a full 60, so I went down to medium. It looks almost the exact same as ultra.
Okay.
Which is fantastic because it runs perfectly fine. I can't stream it though. XSplit and Wolfenstein fight for like RAM or something, so they don't like each other very much on my computer.
Okay. I'll probably check it out at some point though. I've been
You can do it for free.
Warming up to the idea. Oh, okay, so that one's not Uplay or any bullshit, so it totally works. Not Bethesda Play.
That would be terrible.
Yeah,
if they did
ZeniMax Zone.
The ZeniMax Zone.
Yeah, nothing like that. Cool. So fun video games. They're expensive, but sometimes they're totally worth it.
And Dark Souls 2, I finished. I'll throw that out there.
Feel good about that?
I feel good. It feels like this is going to make it sound bad, but I feel like a weight has been lifted, like a burden.
Nice.
Because I was having fun. I had fun through the whole thing, but I was having the most fun for the first, I would say, 80% of the game. And then when I got to that point, I was just like, I kind of feel like I have to just finish it. Because I have like 7 bosses left. And like, what the hell? I'll just keep playing until I beat it. Because if these are the types of games that people say, if you're good enough, you can be like soul level 1 and beat the whole game. And speedrunners kind of do that. So, yeah, I went ahead and finished it off last night. I didn't get all the bosses, though. I didn't do some optional ones because I was kind of beelining it for the end there.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah, totally fun game, I guess. If you're into sadistic things.
How many hours was it?
I think it was only 23. I can actually check this for you right now because I am scrolling through my list to see if I can find Dark Souls 2. 30. Okay, it's 30 hours.
Okay.
There you go.
I guess it's kind of crazy, like, just there's not a lot of... It seems like a lot of forward progress then in this game, not a lot of frustrating getting kicked back. For you, anyway?
Yeah, there was that. There was a few of those. I did stream a little bit of it one time ever. Mm-hmm. And I spent a good 40 minutes on the same boss and still didn't beat him that night. I was pissed off.
Okay.
And I kind of rage quit that night. Like, I was just like, all right, I'm tired. I'm not going to get this boss because I'm getting frustrated. I'm rushing now. Bye. And I, like, close the stream. Like, okay. I was pretty pissed. But there was a few of those. Dark Souls boss rush mode is that game, basically. So I guess I'm just going to give a quick tip of, like, a quick advice tip if anybody was wanting to try it out. Maybe when you're starting off, go with a melee build and make sure you get an 100% physical, like, damage reduction shield. It'll save your life forever, basically. So there you go. Pro tips if you're starting out. That's the way to do the melee character. Yeah.
Dark Souls 2.
Do you care about Guns of Icarus at all?
That one's kind of weird because, like, I've had it for a long time and never ever played it.
Right.
So what is it? It's like steampunk MMO or something?
No, it's like blimp dogfighting game.
What? But it's like a multiplayer thing, right? Like cooperative stuff.
Okay, so get this, right? You're in a blimp.
Okay.
This blimp has guns and cannons and, like, it has engines, like rudders, I mean, like engine sort of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, it has the actual balloon itself, the blimp, and it has, like, a shield sort of thing. Like, to fix the integrity of your thing. You need 4 people to be able to run this thing effectively and kill other ships. So it is a dogfighting game for blimps.
Okay. And you need, like, co-op crew to take on other blimps.
Yeah, so we found the best way... Sorry, hold on. I had to clear my throat. We found the best way to run it is you have one captain steering and like doing that sort of thing, 2 engineers, and 1 gunner. That seems to be pretty good.
Okay.
The engineers fix stuff more efficiently, like they have tools to fix the ship and like get things running back again. And the gunner has like different ammo types and can increase damage and stuff like that. And the captain or the pilot or whatever, pilots obviously.
Wait, are you just competing for like skill, like kills, or is there objectives and stuff?
No, yeah, it's a fighting game.
Oh, so it's just like sweet, I shot down 6 Zeppelins, I win.
Like kind of, but it's more like 2-on-2 is, I think, like the basic deathmatch sort of thing where like you and another blimp are against another 2 blimps, and the thing is
the word blimp is okay.
It takes so much to actually take out another blimp, and like you're kind of slow. You're not very slow because it's still a video game, so you're still going at decent speed.
Yeah.
But you're pretty slow moving. You have to control your altitude, like how high up and down you are, and like you turn, depending what your blimp is, you turn slower or you turn faster and like can move faster or move slower. You have more guns or less guns depending what blimp you have, and you need people to actually operate the cannons. So it's very much, it would be like if companies had like, we need a team building exercise, this is the game right here. Because you need people to like help each other out to like, okay, well, the blimp's on fire or whatever, the balloon's on fire. So then like an engineer has to run up and put the fire out because they have the fire extinguisher, and then maybe repair it a little bit and then run back on a gun.
Is this third person or what is
it's
this?
First person.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. You're learning all about this game, aren't you? You had no idea.
This game I've owned forever. So are all the roles fun, or is it like, no, you want to be the captain or the gunner? Like engineer sucks.
You can do any of the roles. As a gunner, you still have the ability to repair something that's down. You just don't have a fire extinguisher necessarily. And like as an engineer, you don't have different ammo types, but you have your fire extinguisher to like put things that are on fire out, and you have like a mallet to make, like, to increase the health, I guess you could call it, like the damage capability of something when it's been lowered, and just stuff like that. But like an engineer can jump onto a gun and start firing and get a kill.
Okay.
Sort of thing. Or like there was many times the like pilot or the captain or whatever would just like jump off of the thing and then like grab a gun with everyone else, and you would all just gun down a ship.
Is 2v2 kind of small scale, or does it feel like there's enough going on?
It feels like there's enough going on because the maps aren't huge, but they don't need to be because they not only are they going left to right, they're going up and down, right?
Yeah,
yeah. The one we found is the funnest is 3v3, but the problem is that the lobby took a while for that to fill up. Not a lot of people seem to be playing this game, which is kind of a shame because it's a $3 game and it's pretty fun, and I have extra copies for whatever reason, so I could give away people. But anyway, I guess why I want to bring this up is that we had a blast, and we have a Burning Barrel clan on the game.
Nice.
So people can go ahead and join that. We can take to the skies. And yeah, you should do that because it's fun. Not you specifically, but people listening
who like blimps. I totally lied earlier. I saw another movie.
Which one?
The Frozen Ground.
Okay.
It stars Nicolas Cage. He is an Oscar-winning actor of
he's great.
Much repute. He plays investigator, like a cop in Alaska, who is pretty convinced he knows exactly who this serial killer dude is. He just needs to prove it so he can actually get a warrant and stuff and, arrest the guy. Meanwhile, corpses keep piling up because red tape and bullshit. So, yeah, it's a true story. It's about a kind of I think it took place in the early 80s, late 70s was when all these like abductions and killings were going on. John Cusack plays the dirtbag, which is not a spoiler because they just kind of introduce him as, yeah, this guy's killing people. Like, it's this guy. But that's not the problem. The problem is he's not being arrested despite some cops knowing he is trouble. So yeah, it was reasonably okay. Kind of true story, recreation biography. I don't know. Autobiographical. No.
Your brain's shutting down.
Yeah, I'm getting tired. Although wait, now that I just said John Cusack out loud, I feel like I might have watched another John Cusack movie.
1408?
No. Anyway, sorry. Frozen Ground. The weirdest thing for me, that like the point where I was like, I don't know about that. The movie ends on this note of just like, this movie is a tribute to all the victims, and then they like show all the pictures of the people.
Oh man,
this is weird. Like, it wasn't that exploitative before. It was just a crime movie, but now that's a little weird. Like, I don't know. That was the point where it made me feel uncomfortable. But the movie was over, so it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
That's like the ending of like World Trade Center or something. There's just a giant picture, like a montage of all these people's family pictures that died, like playing with their dog and stuff.
Do they honestly do that?
I don't think they do, but I'm just saying that would be the equivalent.
They did, yeah. It would be like, that's a little weird. Yeah.
And then or like you have Randy Jackson's 9/11 song playing in the background.
There was kind of a cheesy rock ballad playing in the background. Like it was like a poorly executed moment to end that movie on. For what was
don't want to miss a thing.
Like, I don't know. Like, otherwise, it was a pretty straightforward crime thing. Like, Vanessa Hudgens plays this prostitute who escaped and has kind of, like, her testimony could be a key thing in the case. But she's also kind of in danger of just being, like overdosing or being picked up by this John Cusack character, Robert Hudson or something. Anyway, he's got an airplane, so he's able to kind of...
Is he on Con Air?
Sprinkle the corpses all around Alaska. So
then he is on Con Air. Got it.
He is Con Air, yeah. He's the pilot.
He is the plane. Like, I don't know. He is Con Air. It's one of those
dumb things, like, in the IMDb trivia, for some reason, some genius decided to point out, like, oh, it's kind of ironic, because Nick Cage played a convict in this movie, and John Cusack was the cop, and now John Cusack is the convict, and he's the cop.
Oh, snap!
Yeah,
it's like, what?
That actors play different roles. Exciting. Yeah.
That time, Nick Cage played a bad guy, and John Travolta played the cop. But then in the same movie, Nick Cage played the cop, and then John Travolta was the bad guy.
Oh, that's so crazy.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
And Nick Cage was better. It was crazy.
Oh, gee. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Castor Troy. Yeah, it wasn't like...
Eat a peach for hours.
Frozen Ground was not fantastic, but it was totally a decent movie. And except for that ending note, which, yeah, that was a strange way to do that. But yeah, there you go. That's probably why I kind of forgot about it, because it was just kind of...
Because it was kind of forgettable.
Yeah. That was last night, and I already kind of forgot about it. And that was one I was paying attention to. Like, that was not a packing movie. That was me kind of watching a film. But, yeah, there you go.
Hey, you know what happened to me last week?
What?
The day after we recorded last week's podcast, I got my first Lootcrate.
Okay.
You know that hot new phenomenon that's going around the interwebs?
Is it a phenomenon? I just know Mega 64 is sponsored by it right now, so they bring it up. But are people getting way excited about Lootcrate?
Yeah, there's a lot of people. A whole lot of people.
Okay.
doing that.
All right. I won't kind of give my take on Lootcrate until you explain.
Well, I've kind of given my take live as I unboxed it.
Yeah, I watched your unboxing video and felt like that was kind of a level-headed appreciation of just like, I kind of wish the shirt wasn't word art. Oh, Adventure Time, okay.
Okay,
YouTube.
I'll explain why I thought that shirt should have been not word art. The words they use are terrible.
What are they? It's not like courage and stuff?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Courage. A courageous hero is the sword. And, like, bats is another one.
Okay, bats is stupid. That makes no sense.
Dude, all of them are stupid.
Okay, courage makes so much sense because Triforce shit. Like, that's why I thought of that word first. So...
Honestly, I don't know if the word courage is, but I know the sword is a courageous hero. That sentence.
That's... Okay.
Yeah, like, the words they chose are terrible, but, like, if you kind of squint and don't see the words, it's cool looking. It's fine. Yeah, especially
it was word art when it was first shown up. I was like, oh, it's kind of a cool, like, sketching style. And it's like, no,
right.
It's word art.
And the way I wear stuff is, like, I usually wear a hoodie with, like, it kind of zipped up halfway.
Yeah.
So, like, it fits perfectly in there where it's like I can tell what it is and it doesn't look like word art until I look really hard at your chest, which people don't usually do because I'm not a girl.
Okay, so just like, oh, it's that guy from Zelda. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of in passing. But I guess, like, that's on YouTube if you wanted to look it up. XFS1000 is the username, my username on there. Overall thoughts, t-shirt, okay, but kind of crappy because of word art. YouTuber stuff, really? Question mark.
Yeah, that kind of was like, that seems like that is basically promotional stuff. Like,
Adventure Time thing is cool for Aaron was the other thought, and, like, it's fine. And there is one cool little trinket.
I saw there was a little, like, tin of the Ice King, but what was the figure?
The Ice King is the tin, and the figure is
Finn?
Zombie Finn.
Oh, Zombie Finn. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a little figure, but, I mean, I don't know. Lootcrate has some neat little trinkets, I guess. But, yeah, promotional stuff. Because Polaris sponsored them, maybe? But they must.
Okay. Like, that stuff to me honestly felt kind of gross. Of just like...
It kind of is, because I paid money for this.
Like, I don't care about some random channel's soundtrack. Like, that is such a fan-specific thing. Like, that doesn't seem odd base enough for everyone to get something out of. Which, that was my other fear, though, that it would be such kind of pandery, just, like, general nerd stuff of just, like, a Bazinga shirt and, like, a Batman bobblehead or something. But, yeah.
Yeah.
That seemed too specific the other way, and, like, hey, check out this. We got some pins for this YouTube channel. It's like, I don't care. What? Yeah. So
overall thought is, like, if you're in the States, $13 a month, it's whatever. Like, it's fine. The $30 it's a hard swallow for me because of the shipping. It's $30.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty steep.
But I mean, the shirt kind of took away a lot of that price for me. It's like, okay, this is probably a $15 to $20 shirt.
Yeah, okay.
So, and then this other stuff, like, I know Erin likes Adventure Time a lot, so this is something for her. She can have this. And this little keychain bottle opener with that says, like, it's dangerous to go alone, take this, with, like, the little Zelda characters. That's kind of a neat little trinket. Everything else, people that take part in my streams, if you want something, like, here you go. Sort of, that's what the rest of it's going to be.
Okay.
So, but, yeah, based off of this, I can't recommend Lootcrate. And I don't recommend it at all. And if you're in the States and it's $13, what do you have to lose? Like, $13 won't even buy me a pack of smokes here, so come on. But,
sure, it's like, hey, do you want a nerd shirt every month? Is it monthly?
It is monthly. And yeah, like, I'm fine with the shirt. As long as you keep doing the shirt. Last month, they didn't have a shirt. And they had this, like, weird Skyrim, like, dragon jerky. Like, I don't want that. I don't want weird salty beef jerky products. Give me a fucking shirt. I paid $30. So I'm glad I didn't get it last month. And again, the theme this month was adventure, so I knew automatically Zelda and Adventure Time. There was a Minecraft thing, which was weird because adventure, whatever, don't care. The Polaris and YouTuber stuff is very fucking weird because adventure? What?
Yeah.
I felt a little bad because, like, not really bad, because I don't feel bad about a lot of stuff I do because I don't fucking care about other people. I'm not empathetic usually. But,
Yeah.
with Lootcrate, everybody that, like, posts, like, here's my @Lootcrate thing so, like, they can retweet it, they're so excited. Like, I've seen some of this stuff, and there's, like, pictures of, like, people being like, yeah, giving the thumbs up, and videos of, like, oh my god, it's so awesome and stuff. And then you just see me on here, and Aaron's like, I just like the surprise of stuff. I'm kind of like a puppy. I'm happy. And I'm just like, YouTuber stuff? Really?
Yeah, like, that just seemed about as unenthusiastic as I would be if I'm just like, oh, okay. Oh.
Didn't you tweet something that was like the most realist, like,
Yeah.
unboxing or
And
whatever?
then I think I put crate in quotes because I was under the impression it was a little wooden box. And it isn't. It's a cardboard box. That bummed me out. I wanted a miniature crate every month. Because then I'd at least have that.
Sure.
Like, it's like, yeah, what was in it was totally whatever, but I have a weird little wooden box. Like, this is great. This is a great prop right here. But no.
Another thing I found a little bit annoying, and I don't know if it came across as that in the video, but like at the very end, I'm just like, oh, and there's the Konami code. That's that pandery bullshit where it's like, you, like, fuck you.
I mean, as a service, that's the part of it that just kind of, like, there were people snarking in the Meg 64 chat. Like, I listened to the audio podcast, but they were, like, kind of getting annoyed with people for, like, oh, great, you get a bunch of junk every month. But, like, I don't think I already have a bunch of dumb, nerdy knickknacks around that I chose to get and regret now. Like, just more of them showing up every month. Like, I don't think I'd want that to happen.
See, this is feeding... I have this box. It's actually kind of right beside me. Well, it's on the next desk. This box is full of stuff that I am ready to give away to people if I meet them at conventions or something, or, like, through the mail for being, like, a stream person. And Lootcrate is basically the food for that box, with me picking out the scraps that I actually want, like a t-shirt, maybe.
Sure. But I guess it being kind of pandery, like, that nerd culture is becoming so broad that you can just kind of throw random stuff in a box and
people pay money for it.
Will probably be okay with it. Is kind of weird to me. Like, it's just like,
yeah,
it, like, that's almost like, oh, I need broader interests. Then I need to get outside my comfort zone. Like, if I open a loot crate, it's like, oh shit, all this does apply to me. It's like, okay, I got to go find something else. Got to figure this out.
Like, just knowing who those YouTubers were was kind of a thing for me. It's just like, this is weird.
Did you actually recognize the channel names?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Like, that would just be a complete mystery to me. But maybe, I like, that's where I feel like it feels promotional. I'm just like, oh, what is this about? Oh, dude, I love Zelda Let's Plays. Or whatever. I don't know what they do. But what do they do? Is it adventure game related?
Like Minecraft related.
Oh.
I guess
it's not really an adventure.
Markiplier does more like well, he's one of the bigger Polaris people, so that's why his shit's in there. He does more of the, like, horror games.
Oh, okay.
So, but like I said, he's one of the bigger ones for them. So, of course, like, people know this guy, better throw a sticker in. Or his are, like, temporary tattoos, which is weird. Yeah. But whatever. I don't know. When you look at back, when you go, like, past crates or whatever on lootcrate.com, there is some cool stuff they send out, but, like, I wasn't a part of those. So now I feel shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
There, like, one person every month gets the mega crate? Isn't that a thing?
The mega crate actually looks pretty badass, though. Although, was it this month's or last month's? One of the month's mega crates. This month's looked fine, actually. If I got the mega crate, I wanted that Link statue, and that was pretty much it. The rest of it, then whatever. But, like, Link statue, that's kind of cool. I think it was last month. It was just like one of those remote control helicopter things, like with the four prongs, four sides, four circles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want that. What am I gonna do with a fucking shitty stealth helicopter thing?
I don't know.
I would probably leave it in Roy's office at our work and like just play with it, I guess, in the warehouse. What else would you do with it? Like, I'm not keeping that in my house. I don't have room here to play with that.
Yeah.
And I live in Canada. I can't play with that like 8 months of the year.
So thanks, Lootcrate. Thoughtful.
But I don't know. Some of the stuff they had sent out were kind of cool. Like this Console Wars t-shirt was kind of neat.
Wait, I just had a kind of like, I'm just going to run this thought past you. It's probably kind of mean. But okay, you know, with like gift giving, a lot of people always say, well, it's the thought that counts.
Yep.
Isn't this kind of thoughtless?
Oh, it totally is, because it's like they'll probably, for each figure, they probably got like 500 boxes of it full of these little figures, and then they just throw them in like a bunch of boxes randomly.
So it is like a gift, sort of, in a like, it's like, oh, random, what are you gonna get? But it's kind of just like,
well, they don't care about what you get, because what you get is what their sponsors give them to give out.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know. I don't get why this is catching on. Not that, you know, shouldn't support Mega 64 specifically.
Oh, I'm not supporting them.
But yeah, no, I know. I'm just like, they're sponsoring things I like, but I don't care. Like, I guess, like, I don't really. $30 too, geez. Anyway.
The Titan Loot Crate is kind of weird. I'm just looking at it now. Like, what was in... It was March.
Titan and Titanfall, probably.
Yeah, but like, one of the things is a lanyard.
Sweet. I hate those.
Like, well, we have use for them at our job, but...
Finally,
Yeah, finally. And like, another one is like a wristband. Like, it's just such dumb, shitty little things. Another one is a Titanfall strategy e-guide. So I'm pretty sure it's just a download code for a guide for a game that I don't own.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's just like this weird stuff. But the Titanfall t-shirt is actually kind of cool. I don't know.
Maybe,
anyways,
like, it's just like, did this business model come from like, we've observed that people will line up for dumb shit at game conventions, like buttons,
dude, totally,
and free crappy shirts. What if we put free crappy shirts and buttons in a box and charge people money?
Yep, that's all it was.
Yeah,
but you know how they get word of mouth out there is that they encourage you to take pictures and videos of the unboxing. Like, they went about it smart, where they're just like, we don't even have to advertise this. We get like 5 big YouTubers to start the trend, and then like put on the site that we want to see people unbox their stuff. And since people are selfish and egotistical, they will like, do it.
Narcissistic, yeah. Like, look,
and all we have to do,
everyone got that.
Like, we just have to pay one person when like these get shipped out for that weekend to stay on Twitter and just retweet everything, or like get a bot set up. And, like, word of mouth is there. Like, millions of people will start buying it.
Is every...
It's ingenious.
The same as everyone else's? Like, it's like someone else got a different Adventure Time figure, but they also got an Adventure Time figure.
Yeah, right? No. It's the exact same thing.
Okay.
Except the Mega Loot Crate.
Which I'm sure that's a ingenious part of it, because then it's like, oh, what if I get that? It's like a lottery, like, part of that, too. So, yeah, and then that person, they'd tweet and blog about how cool their Mega Crate was, and then you got hundreds of subscribers. Boom.
Yeah,
geniuses.
It's actually really ingenious how they did it.
I will say, evil.
But like I said, if you're somewhere other than the States, I don't recommend it. Just straight up. If you want like all these little kind of dinky things for like video game culture, I promise you, go to a PAX. Go to, like, if you have the means, go to an E3. Go to anything that's a gaming convention. They,
like, I was going to say, go to Discovery Hut. Like, or, you know,
okay,
to, like, your local mall, and there will be Adventure Time.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you want this specific stuff that they're sending in Loot Crate, if you go to PAX and stuff, garbage cans are filled with this stuff, because they, like, if you're walking by, you have more stuff handed to you than you have hands for. Literally, I'm not even kidding. Your hands are full of shit by the time you reach a destination after a 5-minute walk.
Like, if you're like open to it or looking for it, you will get dozens of t-shirts. Like, it's just dumb.
Well, the thing is, if you're looking for it, you're less likely to get it, I found. You just stumble onto it. But if you're looking for it, it's like, no, we ran out. I don't know. Maybe it's just a law of averages that if you actually want something, you won't get it.
Maybe. But like, yeah, like I've been standing playing a game and then like a rep will drape a shirt on you. Like, I didn't want this. It's like, too bad. You got to spec up the line shirt. Have fun with that.
I remember the one thing I do like is that foam finger for Lollipop Chainsaw. And the reason for that is because I wanted to play the demo because I was just like, I have to play this because Suda or whatever. I don't know what my reasoning was at the time.
Yeah.
Like James Gunn, maybe. A combination of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of reasons. So I was standing in line and then like some cute little girl comes by and just like puts it on my hand. I was just like, what? It's like, all right, I'll take this.
Oh,
and then you see people walking around the convention with like 2 of them just like walking around like they have chainsaws. It's so dumb. It's such a dumb thing. But in that world, when you're in a convention, it's fun. But the minute you take it home, it's garbage.
Right. Like there were times where I just go through my bag of like PAX swag like months later and just be like, wow. Why do I have like a Marvel Heroes pin? Like, okay.
Why do I have 10 posters for that BioWare game
that's Aeon
about?
The MMO
for Aeon?
Like, yeah, stuff like that. It's just like, oh sweet, a Rogue Warrior poster, awesome. I'm gonna put this up on my bedroom.
I think the grossest one was that there was I think it was Walking Dead, Telltale's Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
They had shirts, and the way you got it is after playing the demo, they would ask you to pre-order, and if you did, they would give you a shirt.
There's a lot of kind of stuff along those lines. Like pre-order Far Cry 3, you get a free tattoo or something. Like just weird nonsense. But yeah, or no, that was get tattooed. You get the game for free, which that's a terrible life decision.
Not really, because if people wanted a tattoo anyways, it's like, yeah, let's go.
I guess so long as the tattoo isn't Far Cry 3 coming out soon.
That would be amazing.
Like, it's that long. It goes just across your shoulder blades. It's like Far Cry 3 is coming out soon. Pre-order now.
Do they get to choose where they tattoo it, or do you get to choose?
I'm honestly kind of mashing up several things in my head. I know there was Brothers in Arms. They let you, like, it was like, get a buzz cut. And, you know, it's like boot camp, buzz cut, get a game kind of thing. And then
I would do that. Why not? It's only hair. I wear a hat most of the time.
The Far Cry one might have been, like, temp tattoos or something. I don't know if it was as hardcore as they were actually just straight up tattooing stuff on people, but something weird was going on there.
Right.
Yeah. I don't want to like say, yeah, there was a guy, he had, you know, do you know what the definition of insanity is tattooed on his face? And then he got a free video game. Like, that's not what happened.
That's a bad life decision. You're right.
Yeah. Don't do that.
No, don't do that. Remember last week, I said I'm going to call out a YouTube channel every week?
Oh, yeah? Yeah?
I got one for you this week.
Okay.
I mean, and it's weird calling these people out, because every YouTube channel I'm going to call out, like, doing this, probably has way more people than we do watching them. So just straight up, but keep that in mind. Happy Console Gamer.
Okay.
Is the name of these two. I think it started off as one guy, and then he brought his buddy in who's, like, obsessed with Mega Man, and it's to the point where it's adorable how excited he got about, like, he got a press kit for Mega Man 9 that was like the disc in the NES cartridge that opened that Capcom did for a while. And like he left a message like crying basically almost about how excited he was. And it's just kind of, I feel like it's something you have definitely lost, and I find myself losing more and more. It's just that enthusiasm, like that childlike enthusiasm for video games. And it's kind of nice to see again, honestly, because these people are genuinely happy with what they're talking about, and I think that is why their channel is doing decently, because as much as people will like the cynical Brit Total Biscuit, because he will give the hard opinions of good or bad, people sometimes like to see people just gush about stuff, and that's kind of what they do here. So they won't always just review the new thing, and in fact they don't. They review a lot of older stuff, or like they talk about, like one of the more recent uploads is games that disappeared, or like my top 10 anime films and stuff. So they're talking about stuff they love, and that is kind of infectious in a way that you want to see it.
Oh, okay.
And they do that very well. So that's happy console gamer, all like together as one word, and they have about 77,000 people. So yeah, they're way like viewer wise above us, but they're also Canadian. They're from Vancouver. Mm-hmm. So a shout out to the countrymen there. You guys are doing good. Keep it up. I hope you always stay as happy as you seem to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought, like, if there's a channel that I'm following that I've kind of just enjoyed, Phony Fun. No?
Is Phony Fun the like 10-second things of like bad animation?
Yeah.
It's so good. You're right.
Like maybe a minute long sometimes. Like my favorite one of late is one of their more recent ones, if not the most recent one. It's Bagman Trolls You, which is just the dumbest.
Is that the one in the bar?
Yeah.
That's the newest one. That came out a few months ago.
Right. Like, I don't know. It is kind of just dumb conversations that are like these little animations or whatever, but I don't know. It just seems to have a certain like kind of Tim and Eric quality or something, but it's like a minute long. And I've enjoyed some of them quite a bit. And yeah, the most recent one, like the last 5 seconds of that video, I don't know what it is. It's just, I find it really, really funny because it has no explanation. It's just like, Bagman trolls you, and then you watch the video, and at the end something happens, and I thought it was funny. So yeah, little animation channel, not like amazing Flash animation or anything, but I don't think it's trying to do that.
It's MS. It's like MS Paint and they do the South Park thing a lot, where they like cut the head in half at the mouth and then move it that way.
Yeah. It's very simple stuff, but some of them are pretty funny, and it is not a thing that'll take up much of your time. So yeah, Phony Fun, PHONYFUN.
One word.
Yeah, well. It's a decent bit of silly. So
it is. I can vouch for that. That's a good choice right there. So I
yeah.
find it weird that I've known every channel you've talked about so far.
Yeah, it's like these are relatively like obscure channels. Like I was on Duncan Bros again this week, and they're still around 30,000 or something. Like they're not.
I just actually looked up Phony Fun, and they're only at 1,000.
Yeah,
so they're very obscure.
So they're pretty small, but
I mean, we both like watch Mega 64. I'm pretty sure that's where this one came from.
That yes, that is.
Yeah, so
I got involved in it because of the Ray Dance kind of thing Mega 64 was doing.
You have your own Ray Dance, in fact.
I have Ray Dance, and I believe Phony Fun found my Ray Dance and was like, hey, and I was like, what's this channel? And I was like, hey, this is okay. Follow.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, can I recommend like 2 videos people watch on their channel? I pulled up their video list. There's not a whole lot. You should look up Street Smarts and Jail Cats.
Okay. There you
Jail
go.
Cats is great.
And I guess as my recommendation would be, Bagman Trolls You. So that one's like 2 minutes, so get ready for a sit down.
Holy shit, you're right, it is. That's longer than the rest of them.
Yep. They're
all about a minute, yeah.
That's their epic right now, so boom. Yeah, there you go. YouTube recommendations. Question time?
Yeah, how do you feel about some questions?
Question time.
All right, we'll start with Twitter. Should we do that? I got 2 on Twitter.
Okay.
So the first one, I just got to pull it up here because it's under my favorites. Comes from the amazing Chris at Christian Reno. Is Supergiant Games going to get pigeonholed into being the artsy, talking, gimmick game company?
Like, oh man, I was kind of specifically thinking about their dwelling on the narration over gameplay kind of thing. Like, yeah, at this point, unless they kind of do something that doesn't use it, they will become the game where there is narration at all times while you're playing company.
But, like, on the other hand, they'll also get pigeonholed into the great soundtrack game company. That's not necessarily bad.
Do you love those soundtracks? Like, I don't.
Yeah, a lot. They're really good. Well, I mean, I haven't heard all of Transistor yet, but the stuff I've heard playing the game has been great.
Okay. I don't know. That's a quality that gets lauded as well, and I don't know. I haven't found myself seeking that music. Like, I mean, I play Hotline Miami, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Whereas I play this, and it's like, well, yeah, this fits this game's tone, and it's got kind of weird instrumentation and stuff. I don't want to listen to that outside of.
That's because you don't like music with instruments, though.
Well, I was listening to some orchestral business last week. I just clicked 100 Greatest Symphonies and got me some Bach and everything.
Just like on YouTube or something?
On Groove Shark at work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I don't know, like, it's maybe, like, what are the qualities of the music that you're finding interesting? Like, just variety? Like, the kind of ethnicity? Racism?
You know what? The ethnicity is probably a good way to put it. We'll go with that.
Like, that's kind of the thing where I'm just like, this is, like, Bastion has what I would describe as, like, I don't know, Arabian drums.
Well, it's like an ethnic folk rock or something.
Right, and it's just like, I don't know. That's not my stuff. That's not my jam right there.
Your jam.
That's not the key to my music heart, so I haven't really found myself getting to Twitter painted about it.
Right. Okay.
But,
sounds good.
Yeah.
But I mean, pigeonholed into being the artsy talking gimmick game company, they already are. That's them.
Yeah, two for two. So I guess third time's the charm, right? So if they kind of do something really outside their creative comfort zone, make a first person something.
They can make the new Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
That's
like
great.
You play as the Nazi.
Do that.
And it's really well developed, like, character and moral weight.
Also, you play is the Nazi.
Right.
Yeah, the server. Or, like, the system or whatever.
Maybe it'd be kind of nice to have a protagonist that talks. That'd be a nice change of pace. Like, just get rid of the third person talking about what you're doing thing and just be like, no, you're a character. We wrote a character that you are.
Right.
Not,
right.
We wrote a character that you aren't who is talking about your character. Like, that's weird. I always feel, like, 2 for 2 now, I feel distanced from everything in a way that, I don't know. I just don't, it doesn't get me. It doesn't grab me. It's a problem I have. Anyway.
Okay, and second question comes from Oni at Kiyujazi, Kiujazi.
Yeah.
The Evil Within has been pushed back till October now. Is anyone hyped for that game?
It's Shinji Mikami, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like, that's all I really know about it. On those merits alone, I'm, like, intrigued. Like, I want to hear and see more about what that's about, because that man made Resident Evil 4, and that was a fantastic video game. So, like, and I don't personally agree with this mentality of, like, well, yeah, it was okay until 2006 when Gears of War kicked it up a notch. It's like, no, shut up.
Whose mentality is that? They're two different. They're completely different games.
Like, I'm gonna say by proxy, Giant Bombs of, like, well, the third person shooter evolved again in 2006, and now Resident Evil is playing catch up. And
well, I mean, they're two different third person shooters.
Yeah, you can have a different feel and a different
genres completely.
Like, the whole, when you pull up your gun, you can't move thing, like, that's a problem. It's like, no, not necessarily. Like, that's just a different way of doing it.
Not only did I not have a problem with that, I didn't like it when you could move in a Resident Evil game while you had your gun up. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe the problem here is like 5 and 6 felt obligated to kind of play catch up when they actually had a solid base already. So it's just like,
yeah,
use the things you did right in 4 and then just pace a really good campaign around a similar thing with like new weapons and stuff. You got yourself a gold mine. They didn't do that. So if I don't know, so if Enemy Within, if this is the guy who made that kind of doing another rock solid awesome action roller coaster, that could be really, really cool. So
yeah, dude, I'm hyped. I am looking forward to that game.
And more time is good, so more time in the oven.
Cool. But at the same time, I'm still of the mindset where like horror games are hard for me to get into now, just based on like I don't want to be stressed when I'm home trying to relax playing a game.
Okay.
Like a little bit's fine, but like have you seen screenshots or videos or like whatever they've released of this game?
No.
It's terrifying and disgusting.
Oh, like the creature design and stuff, or what?
All of it. It looks like
oppressive.
It looks like what the hell? Like if Clive Barker made a decent video game, that's probably what this would be.
Interesting. That's never happened before, so
it hasn't, because Jericho was terrible for how much I like tried to say that it wasn't when it came out because I wanted to like it. It's bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And like he released some other stuff. Jericho's just the one that came into my mind.
Yeah, that is the most recent. That's basically the one I was thinking about.
Okay.
Yeah, so in theory, it could be cool, but I haven't, paid obsessive attention to every, screenshot.
Another survival horror game, man. So excited. I love survival horror games. I just don't want them to go far enough where I feel completely stressed and I lose hair. I don't want to lose hair.
Yeah. I want.
Is that so much to ask?
No, that's fair. Like the whole the more powerless you are, the scarier it is. It's like to a point, but if there's no kind of like feel of triumph and turnaround, like that's not a trip I want to take. So it's just like Amnesia. Nah, I won't play it. It's just
kinda.
Whereas Call of Cthulhu has a nice arc to it, where it's like eventually you do get firearms and you kind of turn the tide. It's kind of
I
clunky.
Still have to finish that game.
It's kind of clunky shooting. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have rose-colored glasses. That game was fantastic. It has some problems, but they at least let you.
It has some problems.
Yeah,
we'll leave it at that.
It has some strengths too. That subsequent stuff. Maybe not. Anyway.
Okay.
On to the voicemails.
Well, we got a request on Twitter. I don't know if...
What?
Well, not really necessarily a request, but Meowth900 was freaking out a little bit today.
Oh, no. Okay.
Because, I don't know, she was freaking out about, like, Nintendo and, like, streamers and YouTubers and stuff, and, like, basically saying how, like, well, what did you think was going to happen? If you didn't want to, like, eventually lose money or something, you shouldn't have been doing Nintendo videos, and, like, the gravy train is over, basically, type of rant.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of was just like, maybe you two could talk about this a little bit. I guess she wants to know what our opinion is on the whole Nintendo copyright issue, but specifically how they're announcing a plan now to share ad revenue with actual like YouTube people, whereas before it was just like, no, you can still run ads, it's just at Google and we will take all of it, you won't get any of it. Now they're actually devising a plan so that the people putting out the content will get money. I guess she wants to know just like what we think.
I hadn't really heard that, but
if that's good or bad or whatever. I guess it's inconsequential for us. Like,
right, we're not partakers of the gravy train. Not that, we're like above it. We posted like Let's Play type stuff, but I mean, Konami.
We didn't monetize them though.
Oh, okay, good, cool. I didn't know because I didn't actually upload the videos, so Good.
Yeah, no, I never had the plan to monetize anything on Game Dudes at all.
See?
So, like,
okay, good. I guess we do get to be better.
Like, sorry if you were trying to
yeah.
think maybe that would be our way for you and I
No,
to get
no,
rich,
dude.
but it wasn't ever going to be.
No, honestly, that's fine.
If anything, I would put ad revenue stuff on like my channel for stuff I did research for and like put out.
Right.
But
like you consider kind of the act of playing a video game and recording it just kind
This is such a touchy subject for us.
Not anymore.
Okay.
Okay,
Actually, so you just
here's a point of entry into a thing for this. I was watching some MST3K the past week, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel like is kind of maybe a pop culture point of interest for the genre of commentating on things as being the entertainment in the thing, right? Like
definitely, like pioneering, really.
Yeah, like them talking over dumb movies is the thing about that show. Like the in-between skits and stuff are kind of incredibly terrible. Like, oh my god. Ugh. But the movie stuff, that's why anyone likes those. And it's kind of weird because it's like this is derivative content. Like this couldn't exist if Space Mutiny didn't exist, which is a movie that someone made. Yep. So in that way, it's kind of like, don't they kind of owe like the people who made this like some of the stuff? But I feel like maybe I don't know how that was a show that was on television. Like that was a thing that was legitimately kind of produced. Like I do notice they show all of the credits of the work they are riffing on in the thing as part of it.
Didn't they do like really old, like kind of forgotten about stuff?
A lot of it, yeah. Like a lot of it seems like this is probably public domain at this point, or this is like from a foreign company, so no one cares.
There's a difference between like, okay, if an indie developer makes a game, and Total Biscuit wants to talk over it a little bit and say what he likes or dislikes, or he's a bad example because he's a reviewer. He's not a Let's Player. To be completely honest. I don't know, Game Grumps. I stopped following them because I got sick of their shtick. But
sure, Game Grumps.
If Game Grumps like wanted to just like talk over a video game or whatever, and it's an indie company, that's a different thing completely from this dude that's like, yeah, I want 1 million people to be able to see what my game's about, and if they have a little bit of fun with this, like maybe I'll even think it's funny. That's a completely different thing than we've been around for 50 years. We basically created the video game industry. Like this is our thing. We are so well known that you are basically leeching off of the name of Zelda.
Like it's kind of a different thing. Like
it's a different story, a little bit.
Like
somebody MST3K over the Avengers, like that wouldn't happen.
Well, okay, here's kind of the thing. Like MST3K, a lot of those are on YouTube, and you can just watch them because no one cares about like Gamera versus Gyron. Like no one's gonna get upset about that,
which they should. But
I'm trying to think. Like I know they like some of the same dudes do riff tracks, and on that they do take on bigger movies, and that's where it does get kind of dicey. Like I know there was one where they got Weird Al to do one with them for Jurassic Park. Yeah, and Jurassic Park, that is obviously a copyrighted
huge movie.
Yeah, but the way they get around it is an audio only thing, and you watch it with your DVD of Jurassic Park. And it is just kind of this paid podcast kind of content that you kind of put over it. And it's
that's the thing, because what they are providing you in that case is just their content. They are not providing the movie.
They are not providing you with Jurassic Park as well for like no money, and whatever money there is goes to them. Like they're not intercepting money from who owns it.
Not at all.
So it's kind of more original and creative than just we're playing some of this other person, like we're playing some of this thing, this software, and that is the content. Like that is it, which I don't know.
I'm not trying to take away from those people necessarily either, because I can kind of see their side of it where it's just like, well, I already had these like 15 million people following me. So what does
Right.
it matter if I play your game or if I play this dude's game? It doesn't matter. I just wanted to play your game because I like you guys. I've been playing you since I was 2.
Sure.
So, like, I can see what their side is as well, and I'm kind of stuck in this middle ground where I'm not part of the gravy train, so fuck those guys, but at the same time, like, internet rights or something? I don't know.
I guess, but at some point, maybe it's just this thing of like, I don't quite get the investment in watching someone else play a game. Like, you should be like, okay, like, just this is my old man get off my lawn kind of thing of just like, you
For
should
sure.
probably spend your time watching something more important or doing
It's a
something.
condition called being a cynical asshole.
No, I don't know. Like, you should go to the library, you guys. Seriously, get a library card.
Honestly, like, yeah, you should be a person and, like, do something more than watch other people play video games, if that's what you're getting at. But that's common sense, right?
Yeah, like, even as a person who really enjoys, like, say, 2008 to 2013 era Giant Bomb content, I find it hard to watch their full playthroughs of stuff because it's just kind of like, for the purposes of getting an understanding of what a piece of software is to determine whether or not I should get that piece of software, I understand long videos of just like, man, I should play Chrono Trigger, I should play Persona 4, and I did those things. But now it's like, do you want to continue to watch someone else do that? And it's like, well, no, I don't know, not really. Like, it's just kind of a weird thing. Like, it's like, I would have trouble watching a friend of mine play Final Fantasy VII when I wanted to play Final Fantasy VII. You know, like, you're over at a friend's house and they're playing a single player game. Like, that's frustrating. Like, it's like voluntarily taking that on, and I don't get the appeal of that at all. Like, unless you're enjoying what they're talking about just as kind of like a passive background podcast type.
Of course.
Content.
For sure, that's what it is, right?
For the most
has
part,
to be.
but if they're so laser focused on the game and just talking about playing the game and just like, oh, I'm lost. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go do this. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, I played Silent Hill because I've never played Silent Hill before, and I'm glad I played Silent Hill. And we cataloged me finding that, like, finding my way through it. But I don't know, like, it's not a game guide. It's not a review. It's kind of just a record of a thing that happened, which that's...
But that could be fun, seeing somebody experience something you love, say, for the first time.
I guess so, yeah. Maybe that's where I'm coming at it weird, of, like, the ones I've watched are games I haven't played, so then I stop and want to play the game. You know? So then I play the game, and then it's like, well, this is fresh now, so I can't really just go back and watch it again. Like, that's kind of redundant. So I guess, yeah, if it's like, oh man, I really love, so sure, I guess if someone was like, hey, I'm gonna play Wario's Woods every day, I might watch that because no one talks about Wario's Woods, and I've been saying it's great for years, and then finally someone's going to take it seriously. I can kind of see them experience it. If that's what people are doing, fine, but like...
Are you saying that if I streamed Wario's Woods, you would watch it?
I mean, if I'm around, and yeah.
Would you watch, like, a YouTube video of me trying it for the first time ever?
Yeah.
That might happen then. I've never played it, so...
But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of this thing of like, are all the people who are watching someone play, like, what's an example? I guess we're talking about Nintendo. So Mario Kart 8 comes out. There's going to be a bunch of videos.
That's going to be a big one. Yep.
Yeah, but why are those people watching it? Why aren't they playing it?
Right.
Like,
well, for the most part, I think they probably will be, but
will be playing
know. Yeah, I think so. It's going to be big enough, right, that people buy it.
Sorry, kind of the thing you said that made sense to me was like, oh, well, seeing someone play a game you love. But this is a new game. No one loves it yet. So why would you post like dozens of hours of you playing it? Like, that just seems... I guess it's kind of a might as well thing, because you're like, well, I'm going to be playing it anyway. I can plug it into my computer and upload it to the internet, and there you go.
But
Right.
like that just seems so crazy of just like raw footage sort of thing of just like something that might not be worth the time. I don't
Do
know.
I get to say something I might regret?
Oh, am I in trouble?
No, not you. No.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I'm just saying I might regret because I might be a hypocrite at some point or something.
No, it's fine. What?
I don't like that people monetize Let's Plays. I understand when there are people like I'll just keep going back to him, Total Biscuit, who does a review, who plays a game, will like think up some coherent thoughts, grab some game footage, and like talk about the game.
Mm-hmm.
When they monetize that, that's fine, because that's basically like Giant Bomb doing a review without CBS backing him. That's
Sure.
like the viewers backing him, so that's fine. But when I see people just like playing a video game with their friends and they're making money off of that, I find that gross.
Kind of exploitative,
like,
or
I can see the point of it because I have watched videos of people playing like Trouble in Terrorist Town or whatever with their friends, and they're funny. And like there is something there where it's like, this is fun to watch, seeing these like people just kind of dick around and like be friends and having fun with a video game. But like, do you need to monetize everything? Like, if that's how you're making your living, I don't know. I always just, it's just kind of a gross thing to me, because it's like, if you're this invested into video games, put out some content that is informative of some sort. Like, put some thought into it more than like I clicked the button and people gave me money.
yeah.
But that's coming from a point where I'm not at that point. So like, I don't understand it from my point. That's why I never wanted Game Dudes to be monetized.
Right,
It's
like,
like
it's like if we're gonna actually like put in some time and make some like, I mean, my kind of benchmark example is always Cinemassacre, of like, we're gonna actually edit together a piece about a thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh, we'll monetize that. Like, that was work went into this. This is like a creative work in and of itself. But if it's just like, yeah, here's some footage, it's just like, I don't know, like it's too easy. It's not, there's no effort. Like there's no effort beyond me playing the game and setting aside the time. And I don't know, like, it seems kind of arrogant to assume that's worth money.
And before comments or like angry people start messaging me on Twitter, I'm not including John in this, because I genuinely find that when he does a Let's Play, he gives enough information about the game he's doing, and he plays it well enough that it's a different experience than when Game Grumps do it and they are just being jackasses and playing a game poorly. It's a different thing for me. So before you start saying like blah blah blah, what about your friend? I think he's totally fine. I support him with whatever he chooses to do. I felt like I had to get that out there, because I'm not taking pot shots at him, because I like the dude, and he came in at a time when it was still young, so I understand that he's like one of the pioneering people behind it, part of that forum that like kind of started it, getting it big, and that's totally cool. I'm talking about the little kids that are coming on playing Minecraft and screaming at like a pig or something in the game, and they're somehow making money. Those are the people that are reprehensible human beings. They're worse than the Nazis I kill in Wolfenstein. I guess that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but I guess Nintendo's stance on it, like, maybe that's a little... I guess I feel like they shouldn't have backed down on that, maybe. It's kind of weird.
I feel they flip-flopped a little bit.
Yeah, like, I mean, them kind of being like, hey, we're going to actually allow there to be a Smash Brothers scene or whatever, like with the tournament and stuff, or like we're going to let Melee be streamed, which was kind of a dicey thing last year. Like, that's obvious. You should let that happen. But yeah, like letting YouTubers kind of profit off of your creative works, like that just seems a little...
Especially when you're as big as Nintendo.
Yeah, like you don't need to do that.
They created Mario. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Mario. I understand that Mario is an iconic fixture in video game history forever. Mm-hmm. They created Legend of Zelda, Metroid, all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, now I'm just thinking of like the thing. It's like, well, Nintendo's kind of hurting a little right now with the Wii U, so they're obviously going to want people posting videos and stuff about the Wii U and like getting the word out. And if YouTubers is the new way to do that, good on them for finally realizing that. But I guess to the YouTube folks, if you were honestly not going to post videos about Nintendo because you couldn't make money off of them,
that's just like
You're gross.
Like, yeah, you don't actually love video games. I hate you so much. You are a two-faced piece of shit if you are that.
I agree.
Like, I don't know. That's just kind of grody in a way that I hate.
Like, there must have been people that when Nintendo are like, you're not going to get paid for this, they were probably like, oh, well, it's still a cool game, and I had fun, so here goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? There has to be.
I'll leave my Let's Play up, because, no, this wasn't about that. This was because I actually like Majora's Mask or something.
Right. There has to be those people out there, and for those people, I applaud you. You're my hero.
But if there's like a Let's Play series somewhere that was like at episode 27, and then it's like, hey, we're not letting this be monetized anymore, and it's just like, okay, never mind, we're moving on to Minecraft or something. And it's just like,
Like, who is this Zach Scott guy? Because he's the one that started up all this bullshit with Nintendo pulling like his revenue.
Oh, was he the whiner?
I think he was like the first one to come forward with it, and then other people started realizing or something, and then they're like, hey, yeah.
Huh. I don't know who that is. So.
Well, he's not important enough. I mean, if I know Phony Fun, and I don't know this guy, he's doing something wrong.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, voicemails. The actual voicemails. Here we go.
Kind of forgot another thing about Eren Jaeger in the English version of Attack on Titan. You know that anime I was really mad about for the past year? Or last year? I'm sure Nathan probably doesn't because he has dementia because he's an old man, but you know that dumb anime Sword Art Online?
Oh yeah, I was going to say it was
the dubbed voice of the main character in Sword Art Online is also the voice of Eren. So whenever Eren shouts when he jumps in the air and does a cool slash attack, I get reminded of the guy from Sword Art Online and I get a little bit sad. But that's an issue I have. Anyways. Hey Nathan, did you see X-Men or that new X-Men movie? I forget the name of it. I did, and it was great. I also saw Godzilla, and that was great. It was like a double feature, and I was happy, because movie double features are cool. I'm gonna try and see Maleficent during the weekend, because I have that dumb field trip next week, so I won't be able to go to the movies. The struggle is real.
The struggle is real, Nathan.
Okay, some of that I wasn't able to hear, but X-Men and Godzilla happened.
Yeah.
And Maleficent is going to happen. Was there a question right at the end, though? Or?
What were your thoughts on X-Men? If
it was fine.
Rewind.
Yeah, X-Men Days of Future Past was reasonably entertaining. It didn't change my life or anything, though. And Godzilla, I guess the one update on that is the dude from my first favorite website, Barry's Temple of Godzilla, posted his review of this movie and loved it. Oh, man, he was so happy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he kind of pointed out the one thing I felt was the main problem was cutting away from the monster fights, which, yeah. But I guess his thing was just like, man, this is like actually good filmmaking, just generally speaking. It's like not cheesy in the way, which I kind of like the cheese, but this isn't that. But I'm kind of just impressed they pulled off this stuff with like big budgets and everything. I had similar rushes at similar times, like with the plasma breath and everything. So yeah, that review is totally fine. Maleficent, why is that a thing? It's
I don't know,
Sleeping Beauty, but from the villain perspective?
I guess. I'll report back on it next podcast.
Why are you going to see it?
Saturday. Because I want to. Fuck you.
Why? Why do you want to see it, Paul? What's wrong with you?
Because it looks good. Well, it looks interesting, at least. Like, fun.
Fairy tales?
Sure.
Okay.
I think. I mean, is it a fairy tale? It probably is, right?
Well, Sleeping Beauty. Like, it just seems like it should just be a Sleeping Beauty movie, but Angelina Jolie wanted to play Maleficent, so now she's the star. I don't know. It honestly was like the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland being Johnny Depp and on all the posters and stuff. Like, it's just like, he's not the main character. Why is this? I don't know. Weird.
I think she is the main character, like, for this movie, though, right?
So
like,
they
it's
like
completely
retooled
about
the
her.
story to be about the villain. Like I don't
don't
Okay.
think it's a remake, though. I don't think it was ever supposed to be.
Okay, so it's just more about what that evil.
I think they were trying to, like, create a story or something for a character that appeared for, like, 20 minutes in an old
like a
animated
50s
film.
Disney movie. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Whatever. Okay. And Sword Art Online. Yeah, it was like Cronenberg.
continues
but
to bother her.
Yeah, I guess don't watch anymore. You're not right, Meowth. You stopped.
No, her thing is the voice
Season
actor
2.
for.
No, I
Eric.
know, but like,
Yeah.
I heard there was kind of a turn in that show, right? Like past a certain point in season 1, it's just not
I
good.
think it was like episode 14. Seems to ring a bell. I don't know. Yeah, something. You're right.
Oh, I also watched some Evangelion. Anyway,
Okay.
anime.
Anime. Okay, next voicemail. Here we go.
Hello, Paul. Hello, Nathan. Graduation's only 2 weeks away for me. I am happy. Well, happy, but don't really know how to show it.
Okay,
Anyways, I've been watching real people shows too. The first one is Deadbeat, and that's about a medium guy who solves ghost problems. So he's basically trying to get ghosts to go back to where they go after they die. And he can see ghosts and nobody else can see ghosts, so that's like double the funny, because people think he's doing something stupid when it's just him talking to ghosts, and the ghosts are doing something stupid. And the other show I watched that involves real people is Moon Boy. Now you know that's a dumb sounding name for a show, but it's pretty funny. It's about Ireland people, and a little boy who lives in a family that hates him, and he has an imaginary friend that's the guy with the beard. So that's fun. It's dry humor. It's also Ireland's humor. My type of humor. So Nathan, how is Sopranos? I've heard you're on season 3 and you're probably taking a break. And also, how is the weather in Canada right now? It's actually starting to warm up down here. So I had to pull out the warm clothes. And it stinks because then I have to get back to shaving my legs. The struggle is real.
Her audio went down a little bit in the file.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear it for a little bit there, but the weather is also getting hot here, which is kind of hard to get used to.
Yeah, it really is.
Like it's just like, oh right, I need to like I always wear t-shirts, but now I don't actually need a jacket. And should I buy shorts? Like, am I allowed to wear shorts at work? Probably not.
I'm not sure. I don't think unless you're in the warehouse, they're allowed to.
Okay. Yeah. What was it? There was earlier.
Sopranos.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. Okay. What about Sopranos?
How is Sopranos?
Well, I'm on season 4, which is everyone's least favorite season.
Okay.
The first episode seemed okay, but that's all I've actually seen in season 4. I finished season 3, which was actually pretty good. Although, man, Mad Men is so much better. Holy crap. Wow. What a better show.
All right.
Like, I mean, whew, night and day. No, whatever. Sopranos is good, but I consider it like this was the creative kind of pool where people went and then went on to make something truly great, which is Mad Men. I really like that show. I watched, all the season 7 part 1 stuff in the last little while, and it's just hitting on so many more cylinders for me of just like more characters are relatable. This seems to be about things that actually are applicable to everyday people and their lives as opposed to gangsters. Yeah, it's just it's a better piece of programming. Like The Protege was better than the original article. So David Chase, you're out. Matthew Weiner is in. 20 points
okay.
for y'all. Yeah. What was the there was another thing earlier in the question or early in the voicemail.
She was just saying about the show she's been watching.
Right. Moon Boy, which does sound weird. And what was
I
the
didn't
other one?
even catch the other one. She said it too fast.
Oh.
I guess we could quickly replay and see if we can hear it. Okay, hold on.
Oh, it's about ghosts, right?
I've been watching real people shows too. The first one is Deadbeats, and that's about a medium high result.
Okay.
Deadbeats?
Which almost sounded kind of like Frighteners or Ghost Town.
It sounded like Frighteners to me, for sure.
Yeah. Graduation, was that an exciting time or a sad time?
Yeah.
End of an era.
Know on Twitter, or call in next time and tell us. Either. How about for you? Was it exciting or depressing?
At the time, probably a little more melancholy than in retrospect. It was like, oh, life began after that. But yeah, it was
It doesn't start until you leave school. I found out.
Yeah, not really. So at the time, it was kind of like you you definitely get the sense like this is the end of a thing. Like this is over now. But
for me, that was good because I didn't really fucking like school. So
okay.
Yeah, college was a better experience, and everything after.
College was a better experience. I missed my college graduation though because I went to E3.
Woo!
Which, yeah, totally paid off.
Yep.
Megastar.
You ready for the next voicemail?
Yeah.
Now that you're depressed, here we go.
So early on in Dragon Ball, I think it's chapter 13 of the manga, and it's episode 8 of the anime. It's a part where Master Roshi has to travel somewhere, and being the turtle hermit, he literally summons a baby Gamera. It's a cool little cameo joke. Like it literally just sits on it while it's spinning all around, and when he gets where he's going, he throws up. So if you guys could pick any fictional character and give them a pet of a baby version of any giant monster, who would you pick?
Okay. If you could give a pet to anybody of any giant monster, who?
In a baby version.
Oh, sure. A baby version. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have a specific idea at all for this.
Well, I'm just like, yeah, I'm trying to, like there's a whole lineup of Godzilla monsters and stuff, but it's just like, would having a little one be fun with most of them? I mean, King Caesar.
Give Shepard a baby Reaper or whatever.
Right.
Why not?
Man, that almost seems like that would be like some dumb Xbox Avatar like thing.
Yeah.
Look, there's a little Reaver. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, King Caesar is like a big lion, right? So be a kitty, little cat.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Titanosaurus would just be like a lizard in someone's like tank or something. So
great.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I got a little Titanosaurus. It's like a bonsai tree or something. It's just like tiny, but it's supposed to be big. So yeah, those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah. I guess like a baby Titan is still terrifying in Attack on Titan.
Yeah, like a weird little insane person that wanders around inside a tank or something.
Yeah.
Like, just their facial expressions, I hate them so much.
Oh, see, that was another thing I thought when we were talking about like who would you like to see Godzilla face? Attack on Titan Titans.
And just wreck them all. Like just stomp and crush all of those stupid idiots.
Like that colossal Titan or whatever, just like break him in half.
Yeah. Like just like, no, you're done. I'm gonna burn your throat with my flame breath. This is over.
Yep.
Yeah, Titans are ugly. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Like,
no.
Weird. Yeah.
That was a pretty hard question too.
Well, yeah, because like who would you give that to? It's like I don't know. Like,
yeah,
a baby Gamera would be kind of funny for Mario, right? Because he's always stomping on turtles. So it's just like, hey, here's a super turtle.
I would give Tidus a baby Sin to ride around, which is basically his father.
So perfect.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just like, hey, it would sure be great if Peggy from Mad Men had a baby, like a tiny little miniature, like I don't know. I was gonna say Mechagodzilla, but that's a robot. You could just build a little robot. That's not hard.
Like Mothra? That's just a
Yeah.
moth.
Just a moth that lives in her house, but you know it's Mothra. This is a running thing through all the show. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, give a character
Dumbest
from, like, a
idea.
serious drama a goofy thing.
A moth.
Yeah,
It's a pretty big moth, though. So
pretty big. Yeah,
Yeah.
Peggy Olson with a moth in the second half of season 7. Boom. It's the 60s. It would totally kind of line up with the timeline. So
and you know, moths
moths,
are real, and so
Moths.
is Mad Men.
exactly. It would fit, and only I would know what was happening.
If at any point in that show, as you're rewatching it, there is a moth and her in the same room, you have to like freeze frame it and take a screenshot.
Like, boom! It already happened. That's how
Oh
far.
man, timelines.
Yeah,
getting
there
mixed
was
up.
like straight up Godzilla / Gamera kind of stuff in the show. Like they go to a Gamera movie at some point.
Nice.
So, because it's the 60s, man, they're just like, hey, let's go see something silly. So,
Yeah.
Although technically it was an anachronism because that one didn't come out until the year after that episode was set. Oh my god. They screwed up.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Next voicemail.
So I was thinking about how storytelling in games, in what ways has it matured over the years? And a pretty simple one is it's gone from the sort of romantic idea of going out into the unknown and rescuing a princess, like in Super Mario Brothers or Legend of Zelda, to more of a, like, protecting your daughter, like The Last of Us, Walking Dead, BioShock Infinite. That's sort of the theme that's the way that theme has gone there. And then in critical game, a lot of indie games that have gotten critical success, there's been sort of a formula of games about traveling into the unknown and being sort of like a child in a scared world, like Braid, Limbo, Bastion, Two Brothers. That is like those names are just sort of riffing on that original, that Super Mario Brothers theme. It's just sort of a riff. It's a slight turn in direction. It's progress, but it's not revolutionizing anything, and people, at least critics, seem to latch on to that. I feel like one of the reasons is when games try to do other strong themes that critics would latch on to, they tend to trip over themselves a little more, but this one's been finely tuned, comes up again and again. And my question for you guys is, what game do you think has sort of riffed on that theme the best? What game do you think has been the most successful at that?
Riffing on like the going on an adventure kind of theme,
I guess,
or
yeah.
the daughter theme, which that is definitely kind of a weird trend that has happened. But like, I mean,
Okay. Let's answer both, I guess. We'll just think of an example for both.
right. I mean, the whole going on a journey kind of thing seems to kind of fit a lot of game types.
I'm
Like-
going to throw this out there. Journey. Because that game is literally just you going on a journey to that peak. And
Right.
it ends when you get there.
And there's kind of no real dialogue stuff to kind of
It's
belabor.
it's literally all about the journey.
Right, and the visuals and jumping and whatever, yeah. And I mean, the kind of partners along the way with the online aspect was really cool too.
Well, from a gameplay stance, I'm just talking about like if you're thinking of like which one does a journey well, it has to be the one, first of all, with it in the name.
Yeah.
But second of all, every time you got into a new place and then there's like these weird like monsters with lasers flying in the air and stuff, every part of that felt weird and alien because you didn't know what was coming up next. And I think that maybe encapsulates the perfect idea when you're thinking journey.
The one that's popped in my head is Enslaved Journey to the West. Kind of did some okay
That's
stuff.
a great one. That's a really
like,
good one.
I mean, it is almost like the strong character, like male character accompanies like the female character on a journey, like you know, kind of the Last of Us kind of stuff and whatever. But they seem more like evenly considered somehow in terms of like abilities. Like she does
Yep.
stuff that you can't do, and you're the kind of brawny guy that can do stuff. I mean, that game has problems with like the ending is really weird.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's just like, was this like a well considered written thing, or is this just kind of a way to end it? Like this is just, it was kind of strange. But I that's a game I mean to go back to and look at again because it definitely kind of struck me in some ways.
There is a review on the site that I did when that game came out.
You liked it quite a bit then?
I think
Okay.
that review is pretentious and wordy as hell, so get over that, and maybe that will say how I feel about it, but
Oh man.
yeah.
Honestly though, I was thinking about that game earlier today just because I saw a trailer for Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and I was like, okay, Andy Serkis and stuff, that's part of it. But also like I'm kind of already bummed out that that movie has such like a smoky, gray, dingy future in it.
Yeah, and not
Like,
just
I'm
like
like-
green trees everywhere.
Yeah, like I'm like I kind of wish this just like skipped this part of it and went to now the world is overgrown with like trees and stuff, like enslaved. Like that was a refreshing apocalypse for me because it was like so post-apocalypse that it was like kind of beautiful to look at, as opposed to
Oh,
just
dude,
like,
totally.
oh, everything's
Yeah.
on fire and smoky, and it's just like I've seen this in so many different contexts, like zombies, just earthquakes and whatever. Like it's just like every time something goes bad, there's obviously going to be a period where there's just smoke and ash everywhere. Can we please skip that part? Because I don't want to see it. Like I just don't. It's not like, oh, I'm so scared. It's just like, no, this is just tired. Like this is tired material now. Like let's get to the point where society is completely fallen, and we're just kind of looking at it after the fact. But anyway,
Well,
sorry.
I remember when I wrote that review when that game came out, it was refreshing at that time specifically because we had I can't remember which ones they were, but we had a few of those types of games, like the post-apocalypse, and they were all brown and gray.
Loud or
all of them.
something. And yeah.
So yeah.
Colors, they're nice. Anyway, so I guess so the escort kind of game where you're accompanied by someone or whatever, like that was a cool example that I thought, I guess, riffed on that kind of thing. Okay. What was the other kind of genre thing? The going on a journey.
Like protecting your kid, daughter, whatever.
Well, I mean, Eco, it's not your daughter, but it's an escort mission game, essentially, which somehow in that game, even though there are points where it's just like the shadow monsters are going to take away the person and you will get a game over, like there's something that makes that frantic in a way that I actually like, of just like, I got to go fight those things with the stick. Like I got to run over there and ward them off, or else Yorda will be like captured and that'll be bad. Like, I don't know. It doesn't bother me the way, like, I don't know. Like, the Prince of Persia they made in 2008 seems to, like, kind of want to do that, but she's just kind of such not a problem in that game. Like, she is just a tag along that is always fine, that you just kind of, I didn't care. Like, I just didn't really get that involved. She's basically the reset system. Like, oh, I fell off a thing. Don't worry. She'll save you, and it's like instant checkpoint. Like that's what she is. She is not like in the world in the same way you are, which I don't know. Kind of a. Did you play Pop 08? Prince of Persia?
I'm just trying to remember if I did. That wasn't was that the artsy one?
Yeah.
I played a good hour of it, and I do own it.
So you weren't really caught up in it? Because like some people really like that game and look back on it with just this kind of reverence, and it's just like it was never that good. Like you should have played more Team Eco games.
Well, the reason I bought it was because the trailer had Sigur Ros's Untitled number 3 as the song in the trailer.
Okay.
And that song's beautiful. That's literally why I bought it, because I really like that song. So I was just like, any game that uses this as its trailer music must be pretty damn good.
Kind of like
Nope.
Assassin's Creed 2 used Genesis by Justice, so yeah.
Sure.
Logic. Ubisoft marketing. Music choice.
Yeah.
I guess totally props for calling out Walking Dead and Last of Us as being not that amazing on story fronts. Because yeah, I share that. Like I just like I don't know. It's weird. It's just like people get these attachments to these video game characters that I'm like, really? Like, mechanically, Clementine was in no danger whatsoever for that entire experience, right? Like, somehow that really, really bothers me. Whereas it's just like, no, dude, that was so emotional. That was incredible. And it's just like, okay, like, from a movie standpoint, maybe, but it's not a movie. So,
Right.
that you're talking about it in a weird term. I'm like behind on an episode of season 2. I haven't played Wolf Among Us the last couple episodes. Like, I don't know.
I'm gonna wait for them all to come out and just play the like 4-hour game that way.
Yeah,
So,
that might be a way to do it.
I don't like waiting for the next part because I lose interest and then I lose parts of the story. It's like I'll just play through it all, get it all in like a weekend or something, have a thought about the whole experience, and then put it to rest.
Right. Like this notion that it's like, oh, well, the wait in between, like the talking about what might happen, like that's the best part. It's just like, no. Like maybe if you have a circle of friends that are all doing that, but I don't really like. We're all not all playing the same thing at the same time. So,
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next voicemail.
So I just finished the new chapter of The Wolf Among Us. I was thinking about how choice in video games is often, the design of it is often like more similar to you're given a bottle of water and you're given flavor packets and you get to choose which flavor you want. It's not like it's a superficial choice, but it's a little bit of helps you with your own taste maybe in the game, what you personally like. So I was thinking of if you guys could pick any game and change the flavor. So like maybe the character would be smoking or punch someone in the face every once in a while or tell them to shut the fuck up. What game would you change that in? And
Okay,
how would you change the flavor?
Okay, first of all, his 3 suggestions would just be like making every video game character me on a bad day. Just like smoking, telling people to shut the fuck up and punching them in the face.
Yeah. It's just like, if you could make a video game character more like you, who would you choose?
Like, if you could Paul-ize any character. But, I know what he's getting at. Like, who would we change?
I kind of like that example, too, of, like, it's, like, different flavors, but it's ultimately, you're still drinking juice at the end of it or something.
Especially I was doing a video thing that might be scrapped because it's kind of hard to see how it's going to come together, and I'm not really into it anymore. I was pulling the endings for all 3 Mass Effect 3's endings.
Yeah.
And they're literally the same ending with different colors, so it really is just like choosing your tropical punch color.
I mean, there's like slight differences to like what is implied by like, oh, well, machines and humans merged, or this was destroyed, or these were destroyed. Like, it's a different thing happens, but yeah, it is.
There's actually only one that is completely different because they all have the Reavers going away,
and
they all have
relays,
the crash landing, the relays getting destroyed. There's only one that's different, and the difference is the destroy one where the Reavers blow up on Earth. That's the only one that's different, because the other 2, they just fly away in the same look and the same vein and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but the way he put it is very astute, and he's right. Like, it adds a little bit of like what your preference for this character sort of thing, and that's fine. They're not meaningful choices, but they're still something maybe you could latch onto if you wanted to for your character. I'm gonna say if I was going to change a character, I would make Mario a villain. Because
make him a villain again, like in Donkey Kong Jr., where he's kidnapping apes and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like Bowser, like he's the final boss and you have to like jump on his head and grab his shoe and swing him around or something. Like he's the villain in a new game.
Okay. What is he doing?
He had a bad day.
Like, diabolical.
I don't know. He had a bad day, dude.
Oh, I guess you could just like try to like flip exactly what happens. Just like this guy Mario keeps hoarding all the stars. Like he just gets them all and just keeps them. Like we need those or something. Like I don't know. Try to make it like you're like Super Mario Brothers, new Super Mario Bros. 2 is like he collects all these coins. Like you just be like, there's this greedy asshole just going around stealing everybody's money. Like we gotta stop him. So
Yeah,
sure,
fuck that guy. Also, smoking, telling people to fuck off, and punching them in the face.
yeah. I mean, he does have a punch in 64, so just going around punching people. Yep, and smoking.
If it was up to me, every character ever would be smoking because I think it's a great thing for kids to latch onto.
I'm trying to think if there's a game where I'm generally okay with it, but the tone is just like weirding me out. Like
Grand Theft Auto 4.
Well, I mean, that's kind of a thing where like the character in cutscenes.
Yeah, the player agency ruins it.
Yeah, he's more serious than when you're running around doing stuff. Like it's just kind of, that kind of hard break there. I'm trying to think if there's like ever been an instance where I'm like, this character isn't doing what I want them to do, how I'm doing it. Maybe
what if Batman just had a gun in the Arkham games? Like he's just sick of this shit. He's gonna pop Joker.
Yeah, he's just like, nope, this is over. I'm honestly thinking L.A. Noire had some instances where I was like, the character isn't acting the way I would, and I feel like
people say this game is cool. It doesn't even matter what choices you make.
Yeah, exactly, Stan.
It's literally from that game.
I know.
He's talking about.
Well, like it's kind of like Cole specifically, like he just seems to kind of do stuff in cutscenes when you're not doing things that kind of drive his character more than stuff you're doing. So it's just like, yeah, Cole's kind of a bad guy sometimes. And you're just like, no, he's not. Like he's the most straight-laced cop in the world. Like he helps everybody. Like it's just kind of, yeah, there's points where like the story turns and hinges on stuff that you don't feel like you're really doing. So that was kind of a thing. There's a moment where Trevor does something that I wouldn't have had him do in a cutscene. Actually, yeah, there's stuff in GTA 5 where it's like, honestly, I got Trevor a haircut, got him a new suit, and then there's characters kind of commenting on his sleazy appearance. It's like, that doesn't make sense because I'm actually looking good. Like relatively to Trevor ever before, because his default is like sweaty, gross sweatpants and whatever. But like, if you don't have him dressed like that, there are occasions where him being this like unhinged, crazy person doesn't quite play the same way because he doesn't look that crazy. So yeah, that's kind of a specific thing though.
I'm hoping he doesn't mean specifically ending stuff.
Like endings to a game?
Yeah, because he was kind of speaking about like the endings for a game is kind of like the packets, right?
Oh, I thought it was kind of just like...
Or just moral choice in general?
Well, his example was not a final episode in Wolf Among Us. It was one of several episodes. I think it's episode 4 or 3. And yeah, the way Telltale does it is it's like, well, the same things happen at these points, but the context that you go into it with is slightly different because you said this instead of this or something. Like it's
like, do you want him to say hey to a person or growl at the person?
Sure, but it's still like guy acknowledges other person in this situation. Like it's like a conversation happens, but how do you go into it is the only thing that really changes.
Okay, I got it. Space Channel 5.
Yeah.
Ulala just throws all her clothes off.
Right.
Like, who cares about the rest of the game? That's the moral choice that changes my experience.
Right, or like, I'm playing Dead or Alive volleyball.
Dead or Alive? I knew it was going to come up.
Like, it's just like, my Ione is fine with skinny dipping. Why can't I just have that happen? Like, that's who I'm role-playing as. So...
But, like, then, see, the thing is... It no longer becomes a video game, and it becomes like porno. So you're completely changing the game. So I don't know if that counts because that's no longer a flavor packet.
It's just a beach vacation simulator, the way I want it to be.
Dude, it's a masturbation simulator.
Well,
at that point. When you get that far along, it's
like
gone
Lara
a completely
Croft
different way.
Sorts are so short. Why not just not have them? You know, like these are kind of moral decisions.
I've always kind of thought that about video games. Are like, this is supposed to be the slutty character. Why is she still wearing anything?
Okay, actually, on the flip side of what I just said, because I was kind of joking around, I felt Lara Croft should wear a jacket in some scenes.
Yep.
The new one,
Yep.
It's like I wouldn't climb this giant tower in the like frigid mountains without at least like I don't know, like a blanket or something. Like
Just pull one off the dude you shot in the face with a shotgun a second ago.
Dudes, just grab like a extra shirt or something. Like I don't know. This is really dangerous what you're doing right now. Temperature.
That's always been the way with Lara Croft, though, in like everything.
Right. Like just impractical.
In many ways, yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. For the kind of more realistic thing they were going with the latest one, it was just kind of like, this is way ridiculous. Like the winds and stuff. She would be like so frostbit by the end of this situation. I saw Vertical Limit, dude. I know. It gets real cold.
I know how bad it, like, black.
Yeah.
Skin is black.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds really racist. I'm not implying that all black people are frostbitten, of course.
What? I would never have said that. You just made it weird. So yeah, DOA is sexy. So yeah, that's the DOA 2.99. You know what I mean?
I love how quickly you jumped on that today. It's just like, what did you hide from people or whatever? Everyone else is just saying like anime, video games.
Yeah.
It's like sexy pictures of DOA girls.
Yep. I mean, Barry's Temple of Godzilla was my one favorite website. It's the other one.
Did you like have like printed out pictures or something?
Not printed, no. Like it would just kind of like.
So reality was less creepy than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe in your locker or something, like you had a poster or something.
No. It was never that like I don't know. It's like I need this. Like it was never like that. It was just like
okay.
Hey, everyone's gone to sleep and I'm still awake and on the internet. Let's go down the rabbit trail.
Hence Rule 34. Some things never change, my friends.
Yes.
Okay, ready for the last voicemail?
Sure. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Here we go.
Hey, Paul. Hey, Nate. So, I don't know if you've been reading my tweets lately, but we're going to be getting a new house soon because my dad can't really do the job that he does, which gave us our current house. So, we're going to be getting a new house. And the house we looked at that we're getting is going to be amazing. It's got 3 fucking toilets. 3. I can shit on every floor of the house. In fact, I won't have to worry about... I can say when I gotta go poop. If you say when you want to go poop, someone else might snipe it from you, and then you'll have to wait. It's horrible. The house even has a deck, which is amazing. I'll be able to sit outside and read manga. It'll be great. Oh, and the house has central air, too, which our current house doesn't have. Oh, man, it's going to be so spectacular. So I'm going to be moving soon, and I was wondering if you had any stories about moving. I guess I'll see you later.
Okay, first of all, there is nothing stopping you in any building from shitting on every floor.
Toilet or not, just
I'm just clarifying. It might not be sanitary, but you can still shit on any floor of your house.
That's true.
Now, 3 toilets is pretty sweet because there have been instances, and I don't know like what your toilets like your bathroom situation is at your house. Do you have 1 or 2?
It's 1, so there are situations of just like, oh, I guess I will clench and wait.
Yep. And I will tell you, like, it's bad with family because you have a bunch of people in the house. It's really bad when it's a significant other because girls have to piss like all the fucking time for some reason. So, yeah, having more than 1 bathroom is very, very sweet. So I'm excited for you. When he said 3 toilets, first of all, though, I thought like in the same bathroom for some reason. I was like, well, that's a little awkward.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, like, but that's one way to go.
Me, Ma, and Pa can all go at the same time.
I guess in our new place, we're going to have 2, so equal to the number of people, which is definitely a step up, too. It's kind of awesome. It's also like I've been kind of thinking this through of just like, is it the least feasible thing in the world to get one of those Japanese toilet seats in North America?
Like a bidet?
Yeah.
Okay. No, because there are people that do that.
But do you need to get like special stuff set up and like outlets and things, or
No, I think it just hooks into the current water line.
Oh, okay. It just uses that water in a different way?
Well, it uses the water normally. It probably just diverts the other water to like a little pump.
Okay.
I would assume.
Research needs to be done.
Because all of the water that goes into like the back tank is clean. So, like, I don't know why it would use a separate water line. It might. I have no idea.
Yeah, honestly. Okay. I guess this is just kind of a thought that came. But anyway, yeah, two toilets, so that's pretty cool. We have a bit of a
moving
porch thing, but yeah, also moving. Crazy moving stories, do you have any?
I've moved a few times. I don't know how crazy they've been, but when you're in Canada, you kind of have to get used to the idea that you're going to be moving in ice or rain at any time, because it could just happen. But that's not crazy, really.
Yeah, I was helping with a move that, like, yeah, some snow and stuff kind of happened.
Even if it looks like a nice day out, it could just snow.
Yeah, it'll just
kind of
turn on you. You're just like, God damn it, we have the truck packed, but now it's getting bad. We only have a couple more hours. Uh-oh. But this
actually, I do have one.
Yeah?
We had a king-sized mattress, and like it had the mattress in the middle, but it also had the topper sort of thing that's like the foam, but it had that on both sides. So this thing was huge, and it was easily a good 100 to 150 pounds. And the only people moving us that day, this was the first move I ever did into like my own separate place.
Yeah.
The move we did that day was me and my dad. And the elevator was broken in this place because it was just built. Like, the elevator wasn't running yet. It was brand new. And we had to go up 2 flights of windy stairs. And I'm pretty sure, like, I was surprised my dad didn't have a heart attack and die. Because I almost had a heart attack and died that day. It was really bad. Like, after that was done, he went to, like, his hotel or whatever because he lives out of the city. And I just laid down on that mattress. We flopped on the thing and just slept until the next day. It was the most strenuous move I've ever done for one piece of furniture.
Oh, we had a couch get stuck at the bottom of a set of stairs.
Oh, that's the worst. Yeah.
Okay. And we had to like murder it. We broke it apart and threw it away. Like, it was just like, it won't fit through the door frame. It's already at the bottom. I guess we're going to need a hacksaw. Like, it was just like done. Like, there's nothing we can do. So, yeah, and leaving that place, I had a table get kind of like a leg caught on a door frame pulling it out, and it just like bent it. And I was like, okay, well, this table's fucked now. And then I just broke it apart and threw it away.
Was that when you were moving out of your last place into your current place? Yeah. Yeah. That's
like, I used to have a kitchen table and it died on the way out. So
all around, when we had discussed that move back during Floodcast, I think it was.
Yeah.
You were being kicked out of your house, quote unquote. But if you hadn't heard that episode, go back and find that. I think it's literally called Floodcast 2013. That was a pretty weird move for you.
Yeah. It was pretty like it was just like, hey, we sold the house out from under you. Go away. Oh, okay. Great.
You had to move everything in like a car in like a week.
Yeah, it was pretty rushed and not thought out. Although, honestly, like, I was trying to think what my first move was like, and I don't really remember much about the actual move, but I will say this. Like, I kind of put no thought whatsoever into, like, how my room was arranged after it happened. Like, it was just kind of like, okay, well, this will do. And it stayed that way for, like, 5 years. And I just kind of never... Like, it took, like, 3 years before I was like, you know what? It makes no sense that the TV is over there and the couch is where it is. Like, that's just dumb. So I'm going to move the couch over here and put the TV here. Amazing. Revelation. Like, it was just like, I just kind of put up with where the pieces fell for way too long. Like, there was a, like, plastic thing. Like, okay, it's like one of those mini, like, with little drawers in it. You could put, like, art supplies in it or something. Just, like, on the floor of my bedroom near the door for no reason. Like, I never used it. It just got, like, dust on it and stuff. I would, like, throw things on top of it. Like, or man, there was, like, a little, like, poster with a fish on it that my mom just thought was cool and put up there. And it just stayed there for the entire time. And I just was, like, never looked at it, didn't care about it. Like, it was just there. And it was just, like, packing after that was just like, man, why did I have this? Like, what is this? Where did it come from?
A lot of stuff in the dumpster. The first move.
Oh man, yeah. A lot of out of that place, a lot of stuff went in the dumpster. It's like, this giant sombrero was funny. It's not anymore. I'm like, yeah, threw it away.
Now it's cumbersome because it takes up a lot of room.
A lot of room. I can't actually practically wear it as a hat. And it was like $10. Like, whatever. Why do I have this? So, yeah, those kind of questions of why you have things or why did you put this where it is are kind of things I'm getting slightly better at now.
Yeah.
Like,
what about this current move?
This current
story so far
is currently going pretty good. Of just like we have plenty of boxes. We're packing up stuff kind of in advance and moving them to like the building early. Because I think my mom's place is in the same place, so it's not hard to move stuff upstairs and over to our apartment. So we're kind of planning on that to be the easy part of the whole thing. I'm definitely looking around and being like, man, there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be packed, but we still got a bit of time. Taking it more seriously than last time, though. I kind of left things to the last minute last time. I
always do that.
It didn't feel like I was, because like, whatever, man, I already packed up so much stuff. But it's like, not like really fundamental stuff, like kitchen stuff or like the bathroom.
Kitchen stuff is terrible to pack. It's the worst.
I've only done like one box of kitchen stuff, and it was like big stuff. So it was like, oh, box is full. But yeah, like all the little stuff, like putting things in between them and make sure they don't break and chip and whatever. Like, it's just like, this is gonna suck. So, yeah, DVDs and things, easiest thing to pack, first thing to pack. Like,
yep, I agree.
I don't know. It's just like, yeah, this box filled up real good. Fun. But yeah, what were you saying? Sorry.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with you and saying, and books, same thing.
Yeah, not hard to pack those, and makes you seem like you've done a lot, but you kind of haven't.
You haven't done anything. You like did 3 shelves.
Yep.
Sort of thing.
Our shelving units are empty now. Oh, I packed up the consoles today. Like 2 Xboxes, 2 Xbox 360s.
Who plays consoles anymore? Anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 Wii U's. Anyway, yeah. Moves.
Well, as always, thank you for the questions, comments, and all that sort of thing. And if you wanted to do the same thing and sound like these lovely people, this is how you would do it right here.
Got a question or comment for the show? You can email us at podcast@pixelresponse.com or leave a voicemail using the voicemail feature on the right side of the main page. On Twitter, you can reach Nathan at Krasnor and Paul at Exposure. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/thepixelresponse and visit pixelresponse.com for more.
Wait, we're not still Pixel Response on Facebook?
I don't think so. We are, but the link, facebook.com/ isn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We should just record a new one.
Yeah, probably, right?
I guess so.
Whatever. But yeah, that's it for this week. It was kind of a long one, but that's what we do, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of stuff to talk about, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sorry I wasn't super excited about Frozen Ground, but apparently I just wasn't. So, yeah.
Well, to be fair, you're not excited about a whole lot of things anymore, so.
Man, oh yeah. Is there like, hey, what was one thing you were actually excited about this week? Mad Men. Oh God. Oh, it's so good.
Really?
The moon landing happened in it. It was fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
So not even X-Men, huh?
No.
Like,
That
not
was-
even a new thing.
No,
Okay.
that was fine, I guess, but whatever. I'm already over it. Mad Men season 7.
In stores now.
Well, it's not actually, but maybe iTunes or something. Anyway, yeah.
Like, things excited about. For me, Dark Souls 2 ending, that was pretty nice. Weight lifted.
The new Lonely Island video, kind of like it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's called When Will the Bass Drop? And it's basically just a joke about modern electronic music. And
Yeah.
it's kind of on point. It's not that bad.
Like, the whole time you're just waiting for the bass to drop.
Like, that's the point of the song, which it is, because that is electronic music now.
Does it just tease you the whole time?
Yeah, it's
Nice.
about the tease, and then something stupid happens because it's a solid internet video. Yeah. Honorable mention: The Lonely Island.
Phony Fun and Lonely Island together at last.
Yeah, 1 billion views versus like a couple thousand. But you know what? It's okay. Phony Fun will get there.
Yeah.